days, counting all the ways I died. Everything I couldn't save, buried down, still half alive. It's got me crawling in my skin, but no one's coming out to hold me close. Pouring out the gasoline, yeah, I've been making friends with all these ghosts, and I got nothing left to lose. Fight to the future. Choked it down, left a bad taste on my tongue, but my appetite's been growing now. I can see you crawling in your skin, but no one's coming out to hold you close. I'm pouring out the gasoline, so say hello to all my ghosts. to the fallen, leave me to be with the broken one last time before I go. Hold the last burning ember, let us never surrender. May we rise up to the call for the glory and the fall. For the beat and the broken, for the lost and forsaken, let us never surrender. Now we rise unto the call.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the moment you all have been waiting for. We are going to kick off Winter 22 Showcase, Challenger Winter Showcase, presented by Team Ambition. My name is Proof, and I'm joined here on the casting desk, my buddy Shells. How you doing, Shells?
Man, I'm feeling good today, Proof, because we have an exciting three-game block of some of these players who are looking to make a move in the very high-level competitive scene here. We're already in this draft. So let's go ahead and start looking at who these players are, what kind of characters will be playing, and what we can probably see and look into for how these guys are going to be, playing these games and trying to make a name for themselves and get on a big team for this fall split.
Yeah, I
Let's
mean,
pre- let's pre-
Shells, that's true. Yeah, the times are changing. Players wanting to adapt, they want to get picked up by teams, and this is the best way scouts and managers and people who are just interested to see what's out there in terms of talent wise could all gather around and take a look. It's going to be very informative for us as well, but most importantly, the players are going to have a kick out of it.
Oh yeah, and as we see the draft right here, we can see already some of the biggest offenders of this preseason so far are out the door. Caitlin, Aatrox, Graves for our red side team just obviously just menaced on the map. But we just go look at the actual pick so we can get along with this. We're kind of behind a little bit. Wukong first pick as what I think is going to be the jungler. I think that this is obviously with bruisers being so strong, tank items mostly Jack Show being amazing. Sheen items being crazy too. Decoy picking up this first pick, Wukong sounds amazing. I'll just go ahead and get that prior in the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, so far the picks, I got to be honest with you, Shells. I'm going to rely on you on that. I mean, your input on what you like seeing. I personally want to see the old school kind of support in the bot lane. I know bot lane could have a lot of agency at times, but this is a showcase match, so the chemistry and the synergy could be a little bit off. So capitalizing on that, teams could just pick some weird and out of the box picks here. And on that note, Shells, what do you think players should be playing today? Should they be playing something they are known to play very good, or should they try to get out of the box and showcase, hey, I could do all these things? What's your kind of like take on that when it comes to picks?
That's a very interesting question because these kind of showcases aren't always just about who can win and who can lose. You're trying to make a name for yourself and show teams that you can play well. So the dichotomy between do I play a champ that I always play and I know I can play well on, play a kind of team oriented champ that helps teams show that see that I play for a team. I'm a team player. I can get out my mentality of always want to show out. But in the same kind of vein, you do want to have those individual performances that set you apart from other players. And you can see right here, Aphelios Lulu and Lucian Nami. I mean, two staples that have been in the meta for a long, long time. Those enchanters in the bot lane are going to just empower Lucian and Aphelios, two champs that are just disgusting. Aphelios need a little bit more time to scale up, but Lucian Nami just lane bullies at the highest degree. And don't forget that Silas first pick here for the red side. I mean, three good ults, I would say. Two good ults and then all right one from Wukong here for Cookie Crook. I think these players are looking to really show that this first game we can play meta champions. We can play what you probably are going to look for in an actual competitive environment. But I would expect as we move on with these games to see more ego picks, to see more of these. Okay, I showed you I can play a team oriented kind of style. But the last thing I want to show you before we get off this stream is I can pop off individually. So if you need one or the other from me, I can be that kind of player.
Exactly. We're looking for value here the players can bring, not necessarily through their champions, but through seeing how they adapt against obstacles, against, that pinpointing the pixel perfect decision making when it comes to big team fights, their macro decisions and their micro decisions. These are all things that we're going to be watching for here in a minute. And going into that, you're hovering over the picks. We're talking about that Nami Lucian bot lane. This is just classic League of Legends right there. And something I personally, a lot of people might say, hey, this is getting boring. This pick is just very predictable. But maybe you could actually have counters towards that because it's such a highly picked duo in the bot lane that teams could see how they could solve that problem. I mean, it is a mid to early game kind of dominant. If you get, engaged on, there's a lot of gank possibility here, especially with the Gangplank, that global ultimate raining down from above. So you're seeing a lot of other picks here, Shells. Let's, fill people in on what to expect.
Yeah, you know what? I love these two bands here from Red Side. Say, okay, I don't want you to play the Fiora or the Camille. Two champs that are amazing in the side lane. Two champs that can absolutely 1v1 anyone in the game and maybe even get some 1v2s very easily as well. Ravenous Hydra abusers. But not Zeb, but Decoy says, you know what? I don't need Camille. I don't need Fiora. You can ban out two of my champs in the second round. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up Riven. Now, this is one of those champs you see. Okay, you see Zutter, you see Zeb, and I'm a newbie going for those more standard picks, those more meta picks. Decoy said, "No, I'm picking Riven. I'm gonna show you what I can do on a singular level. I can show you what I can do on a champ that's a high skill cap champion." And he's kind of dropping the gauntlet here on Cookie Crook, saying, "Okay, you got the Gangplank. I can play the Riven." And then you see Town on the Akali, another playmaking, very strong champion, one that is very easily able to abuse any number of broken items in the game. I am very, very curious to see what kind of build he goes for in this matchup. But I mean, you see it right here. Wow, actually, looking at that's not a Silas mid or top. That's going to be a Silas jungle, which we have been seeing come more and more into the meta in this preseason. But this is going to be a very, very strong team fighting comp here, a comp that wants blue side to to stay at range. But if they do want to engage with that Akali, with that Riven, then Renekton and this Silas is going to be going absolutely nuts.
No, I like that you pointed it out. There's a lot of individuality in this team, and you could see the trademark of their ability. We're gonna watch it through their champions. There's things that they could do with their picks, and that's why they picked a Riven, for example. I've seen a lot of Rivens pop off, and it's a really, really amazing thing to see when they're doing all the wall hops and 1v3s, getting away. So you asked for it, shows. We're talking about the intro here for 2022 showcase, winter showcase, and I was like, okay, I want to see something great. I feel like on the blue side, there's those picks that could just make a very good clip. Those viral clips going around with. Have you seen the Wukong play? I think it was on. I think it was Worlds where that happened. It was a really really good play. Um, But yeah, all in all, both sides have that explosive team fight. Both sides are prepared to throw down the glove. And honestly, for the bot lane, I'm just looking at the 2v2. I kind of want to ask to see what you think, where you stand on that 2v2 matchup, and then we could go from bot to top.
Yeah, so I mean, when you see two, you look at the bot lanes, you obviously pick Lulu and Lucian. Not Lulu. You pick up Nami and Lucian because you want to dominate that bot lane. You want to get pushed. You want to make sure that your presence is felt the whole time. And you want to open up, that priority for your jungler on this Silas to make moves in that river and have priority for the dragons and whatnot. But when you see Aphelios Lulu on the other side, they can be strong early. But honestly, once you hit that mid game, especially late game, you had that red white going on, and Lulu had the ability to really allow Philias to live a little bit longer if he gets hit with one of those Nami bubbles. I think that this is a matchup where Zev and I'm a newbie have to prove that they are very strong on this Philias Lulu combo because they are going to get tested from just the absolute push, the damage output from Lucian Nami, and I think it should go in Red Side's favor, but you can win lane hard and still lose game in Aphelios Lulu on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is the stuff that we don't want to predict a little too early, and then until we actually are settled and seeing how the players are performing. It could be a lot of. Here's the thing, right? In a random environment, I think the nerves are unpredictable. But in a professional setting, there's going to be a lot of nerves, a lot of kind of like that jitters. Maybe you're getting the pressure, especially in team fights when a game is so close and somebody just makes a mistake. It's going to be kind of magnified, and everybody's going to look at it. But here, I feel like what's one thing good about Challenger Showcase here is that there's not a lot of pressure, so you are able to just be yourself when you play. You're not too worried about what might happen because you're not going for a title right now. You're just trying to shine, and um, some players are going to be able to do it better than others. So we'll have to take a look and see. Since we're on the casting desk, Shells, let's go ahead and predict. Let's just throw the predictions out there, especially with chat. If chat, I can't look at you guys right now, but what are you anticipating here?
You know what? I can't lie to you. When I see Silas Jungle and uh I see your Nectin mid, I have to. You know what? Actually, we haven't even gotten these guys. We haven't actually had them swap the picks from me. We're not in the actual client, so we haven't
Oh,
seen the
yeah,
swaps
fine.
yet.
Mhm.
But I am curious to see, is this going to be GP top? Is it going to be Renekton mid? This could go either way. Honestly, I think we're going to look at GP top more so. Um, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. And oh, okay, so it's Renekton top,
Producer
Gangplank
on
mid,
point. Today.
and that was, yeah, that's production giving me that
Yeah.
amazing transition there, just making sure that we
Lift
look
up the
good.
curtains. It was like, all
Yeah,
right, you want to see behind the scenes stuff? There you go, Shells.
yeah,
There it is.
and we appreciate and we love Emma for doing that for us. Now, I really do love this red side composition right here. Blue side is a little bit more about picks, catch someone out, and then more about having those 1v1 outplays and that kind of thing. I prefer to see coordinated team fights around objectives. So when I see a Renekton and a Silas right there, I just know that they're going in and they're gonna have a great time. And there are some very good ultimates to be taken here. Um, not not the greatest when you see some of these games when you first pick Silas, but still some really great ones, still some really good ones here. And I gotta say, Red Side looks really good.
Yeah, red side looks kind of like a team that had some practice in. They probably talked in advance they wanted to pick. Maybe they were like, "Yo, bro, what are you playing right now?" Like that kind of conversation. What do you want to play so I could adopt off that? But also you have that Gangplank, I believe mid here. So against the Akali, we'll see how that pans out. What's your prediction now that you see the red side? You're leaning a little bit towards that after seeing where everybody's going.
Yeah, I'm still a big fan of Red Side, but like I said, blue. It all comes down to skill expression for the blue side. If we see a decoy on this ribbon absolutely pop off, if we see uh, Sakali go crazy town on the Akali, individual outplays can work wonders for you in a showcase like this. But it can also bait you into making some crazier plays because you might think, okay, I gotta make a play, I gotta make sure these scouts, these managers see me. You go for it, and it can put your team behind, or you can put yourself ahead. So it'll be very interesting to see what the actual mindset is as we do see the speculate counting down.
Awesome. So on that note, Shells, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a short break. When we do come back, pay close attention to what you're gonna expect here on the screen. The players are gonna give their hearts out here to showcase and have a good time. We're gonna kick things off great on day one of Winter 22 Challenger Showcase, presented by Team Ambition. So we'll take a small break and we'll be right back.
I lied awake for days, counting all the ways I died. Everything I couldn't save, buried down, still half alive. It's got me crawling in my skin, but no one's coming.
Awesome. There we are. You know, you guys didn't even have to wait that long. We brought the action as we promised. And now we're inside the game. We're seeing how things are going to pan out in a minute here. Shells, what are your expectations the first 3 minutes? What are the things that we got to look out for here? What are the things that we should anticipate? And most importantly, you know, when it comes to players and their skills, what are the things that we're looking out for?
You know what? The first thing you want to look at in these kind of things is if there's going to be any sort of invader deep warding kind of situation. We see a 5-point from both sides. That's not going to happen. So what we want to look at next is where these junglers choose to start on the map. It looks like both Zutter on the Wukong and this Silas here from Duong Pro are going to be starting from the top side, pathing toward bot. Actually, I'm a liar because Zutter is now late transitioning down to the bot side. So opposite side starts. It makes a lot of sense for this Silas to start top and try to help out this Lucian Nami lane. You really want that push. You really want to get that presence felt very early on, that first strike, gold, and damage. So I think that you want to make sure that you can help them out as much as you can, get them started, and make sure that you can get this Aphelios and Lulu. If you want to stop and I guess slow down any kind of scaling opportunity they would have early on, and make sure that you can get your Lucian that early game that he really needs to have.
So in other words, Shells are just kind of just chill here, see what happens, and you can see the early on trades already in the bot side. And Gangplank is in fact in the top lane here, and Renekton's in the mid lane. You know, we anticipated maybe a swap coming through on the red side, and indeed we're seeing that right now. Ariel versus DRX Zeka. in the mid lane, you know, that's just where the skill lies, and that's something I think personally as a play-by-play, I kind of want to see something happen in there. As you see, both junglers are kind of mirroring each other right now, and their pathing. Any anticipation as to how this Sylas should be used, or are we going to see any early on ganks, the Wukong, or how do you think that's going to pan out in general?
Well, the first thing you notice is that Zutter on the Wukong only did two camps. He went red Raptors and he went straight to his Gromp in blue. Looking at a full clear option here from Duong Pro. A little bit slower on the Sylas, but it just shows that he's trying to get his gold up and he's giving his bot lane a chance to maybe get pushed. Maybe let Zeb and Nubi believe they have some good security there so we can set up this gank. They have pushed. He has a good chance to come right through here. He already has level 3, but he's going to sit on his blue and get that for ganks. But this is a very good opportunity for red side to make a move. As we do see Zutter waving the wings.
I mean, you see, Wukong is just shadowing Zeka here. It could be a good probability for him to go in. I mean, right now at 3 minutes in, is a high probability that a gank is going to happen. So all lanes should theoretically play a little bit safer. And we're already seeing the bot lane has just decided to push back. The top lane has been struggling with keeping up against the momentum of Decoy. But you see already early on trades in the mid lane. So wave management is another topic that we should explore. What can the audience we could expect to see this high level play in terms of wave management?
What an amazing throw there! Just because what we saw there from Riven. Hold up, there's Avi right here.
Some action here.
Yeah, just trying to make sure that with the jungle changes and the jungle pets there, we didn't touch on that at all. We didn't touch on like the changes in the preseason, but I'm sure we will. The counter jungling isn't as strong because you have a stronger damage onto your own camps. I believe this is still the patch with that. But when you do have the risk, when you do take the risk of going and counter jungling, you can slow down your opponent's pet evolution. So, or I would call them Pokemon. Honestly. And you get yours up, they have less opportunities to get the treats for theirs. So you can allow yourself to get ahead and slow down the opponents. But for wave management, we did see Decoy shove the wave, get it on the tower, and go back and get Longsword for free and walk back, save his teleport. So that was a good example of some skill Riven play. Getting that wave pushed in a free, what we call cheater recall, and getting a free Longsword in there.
Yeah.
And that's a great work. That's what we love to see as a scout and as a manager.
Yeah, she's like a item up in terms of like an item, like an early item, not like a whole full item, but she essentially is leading in stats. And when it comes to statistics, every little number matters in that aspect. So when she could do more damage than Gangplank, she's more likely to win that trade. And again, we're seeing that throughout kind of this whole map. But again, both of these teams are. Oh, wait a minute though. Wait a minute. The full execution coming through. Zeka made me stop my. Thought there quickly. Zutter goes in now. This is a 2v1 happening. First blood secured in 2022 Winter Showcase. And that goes to our man Zutter on the map. And Ambi. Oh, that was going to be a dangerous spot there for Zeka. Almost getting away there.
Yeah, Zutter finding the kill onto Cookie Crook there on the GP, and that just goes to show with the help of Decoy, that extra damage from having that longsword there did help. There was a bit of a counter engage. Avi was able to get the flash out of Zutter, which is going to be very strong because you won't be able to get that flash ult. Yeah. That's going to be coming up soon for Wukong. But still, getting that extra 400 gold on the jungler feels extremely strong. So I want to see if Red side decides to answer back very aggressively because, like you said earlier, you want to win the game, but at the same time, you want to have great individual stats. You want to show that you are just how good you are for these scouts. So I am very, very intrigued to see just how aggressively these teams decide to move off after getting that first kill on the top side, which I did not believe would be the first place of engagement. I thought it would be bot side for sure.
Yeah, we didn't expect that, right? Like bot side has been going at it for ages right now, but you see that control ward placement is really precise, and now it's going to put more pressure onto Zeka as to the kind of asking like a dilemma is, are they going to want to walk up for the trades to CS? These are all things that players should consider. And you could see Lulu is just supporting the mid laner here, understanding what's at stake, and going for the 2v1, but no ult yet on Ariandel. So he has to play that one carefully.
Yeah, and you love seeing supports that'll, leave their laner alone, even when he's getting pushed under turret a little bit. Being able to roam and just say, "Hey, look, I can help you." You're kind of getting hurt a little bit by this Renekton. Maybe help you shove the wave a little bit more. Because Akali, you'll see that that uh, that town has not actually reset yet. Neither one of these mid laners have yet. So they're both sitting on Doran's shield, kind of weaker. Both have. Oh no, there's a Ariando's only one with a teleport there. So we want to help out this Akali while there's a potential gank on mid. They're looking at top right now.
Yeah, a lot of action on the map. We're having Zeka, but barely skin of his teeth getting away. Zutter trying to body block up at the Cyclone, throwing up, but Avi just gets that kill nice and easy. Now Zutter is inside enemy territory, but Avi gonna take that tower shot and walk away. That was so close for this Sylas here. But again, putting on the pressure, roaming again. This is teamwork at the end of the day.
And you know what? All these two of these players are trying to get into the NACL, the Challengers League, but that was the 2 words with CL in the start. Close and clean from Avi there to get that dive off there onto the Akali. That's what we were just talking about. Neither of the mid laners had back yet. We saw Ariandel was able to get it off. Was starting his back, but Zeka or Town had to stay in the lane, and he was forced out of there. But look, you got a kill onto him. He was out there for a little bit too long, and the kind of burst you can get out of a Sylas is just the kind of thing you really don't want to fight as a no-item Akali very early on. So another going to go into that, and we're looking at even more trades here in the mid lane. Wow.
Solo kill in the top lane, Shells. That was some clean. We're asking for some clean, and the Riven's putting on a performance here. And just if you missed it with the blink of an eye, that was a good solo kill. So now Gangplank is just scratching his head. He can't find a way to get back into the game. However, he does have that ulti just in, I guess, 30 seconds or so. You should have it up. It's loading up. But, that global ultimate, the entire team is going to benefit from it.
Yeah, they definitely will. But you want this Gangplank to be able to scale up and become a one-shot maestro later on in the game. But you don't want to give this much gold to a Riven player like Decoy. And this is the thing. He's playing Comfort. He's playing a non-meta champion that's all about skill expression. That's all about, in certain ways, individual skill expression. So when you're getting styled on like that, you want to make sure you can keep a level head, understand what your role is. Your role is much more of a later game kind of thing. In this earlier mid-game situation, you want to, help out with just your ult. So you're not out of the game just yet. You are down, 25-ish CS. Look at the gold here, down over 1,000 gold in the first 10 minutes. That's about where all of the gold difference is for blue side. So you understand that, okay, you're down right now, but you're not out. Keep a level head, and for a chance in these team fights, you can come back, whereas Riven will have to rely more on individual outplay.
Riven is just going to be speeding on ahead here. He's not going to care too much of what's going on in the rest of the map. That's what Riven players do. Yeah, you're just going to be that, solo player that brings a lot of attention on you. But here we go in the jungle. There's a fight going to go on in the Drake pit. Here we go. Infernal going to be taken here. That's just, I guess, it's going to come down to, again, that map control that from the early on ganks is translating into more map control. It's kind of that snowball effect that we know in League of Legends. It's really good when you're on the winning side of it and you're getting all these objectives.
Yeah, and that was just a really good take there from Zutter. It looked like Red Side didn't really want to fight that any harder than they needed to. Now, are we getting baited here, Town? Nope, gets out of there. Has to pop the ult to get out. So that's 2 defensive ults back to back for Town here. So you don't like to see that out of your Akali. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is bad. This is spelling disaster for Zeka, but he manages to barely get away from it with the help of Gangplank ulti coming down from above. That was a close one yet again for Zeka, but in bot lane, who got more action. Double Cyclone. There it is. Zev has found his first kill in the game.
And there it is. You see, like he just said, this Aphelios can be a menace early on. If you get that push, and if you're working well with your support and that Lulu, you can have an amazing time. Now, what I want to mention here is that Avi, if he had almost any other ultimate in the game when he got that dive on the Zeka, on the Town, Town dies immediately. But all he had was the Lulu ult. So there wasn't really anything to actually help out with. Maybe he could have ulted himself.
Bells, look what's going on there in the bot lane. Zutter, everybody's just running away from the blue side. They do not want this smoke, and Avi is here. The flash is used from Renekton. However, the disengage has been called upon. The red side actually wants to disengage, because guess who's here? Decoy just shows up out of nowhere with that TP, and now Zeka is hunting for some blood here. They smell it over that wall, but they're just going to let go and just focus on to better things.
Yeah, 4 players on the blue side of bot lane, which used to be a really big thing. A season or two ago, you see parties in the bot lane, but what this does with Decoy making that teleport play down to the bot side and trying to make a dive happen, didn't really work out that well. This gives Cookie Crook a way back in the game. He gets 3 plates on the top side. The turret shot doesn't really matter at all. Already has his Essence Rebirth, and he's going to be much stronger coming back into this lane. He's going to go ahead and reset here, TP back the lane. But that was an amazing way to get back into a good position. But he may be getting dove.
Yeah, something might happen here, high probability. But talking about that, that's just such a lucky thing that happened for the red team. You know, they got away. They didn't get engaged on when Decoy pulled off that TP. And by Decoy pulling off that TP, they lost so much pressure in the top lane. It kind of gave Cookie kind of like that line to get back into the game and just equalize at least the CS, maybe some of the gold, you know, he picked up in his pocket. So in hindsight, you might just say, well, Decoy used the TP. They should have definitely doubled down on that fight.
Yeah, but you don't want to do too much. You don't want to turn a negative into like a worse situation. So you gotta kind of mitigate your losses. Okay, you didn't get the dive there, didn't work out. But if you die, then that means Cookie Crook gets the full turret there. You see Riven's dead, no one else is going to walk back up there. So you say, okay, didn't work out, we're still fine. I'm up a stronger item, I think. Rav is just such a strong, amazing item. Even after the nerfs, it's still absolutely busted, absolutely just disgusting. And you know that you'll have a much bigger impact right now than the Gangplank. So stay alive. Make sure you can get back up top and not get your full turret taken before plates, because plates just went down 30 seconds ago. And now we see that gold is even for both teams. I want to see if Decoy still has that same advantage in gold that he had before. We looked at gold a second ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's actually the same almost. You see that advantage in the top lane, and there it is. Just like that, with snap of a finger, they're back in the game. They're back on that horse, and they're making a run for it right now, right? But you got the Herald, and it's an objective on the map. You see the red side is on it, but Zutter, they noticed this. They're going to collapse. It's going to be a big fight here out of nowhere downtown. Here we go. A bunch of ultis come down. Ariandel is going to get collapsed on. He gets outnumbered, but there's a huge trade from the other end, and Avi picks one up, and he goes down. Look at the back line. Cookie is just outnumbered, but gets that deletion. Beautiful kill from Cookie, but now he's under a lot of fire. Can he get away from this one? Zeka is just trained assassin, but there it is. Ophelia slows him down a little bit, and the last shot does not complete him, but he has nowhere to go here. He's just gonna bite the dust in just a second, but maybe he could get away with it. Nope, not gonna happen. Almost though. Cookie put on a show. Both teams really put on a show there, but Shells, what's the outcome that we're looking for here after that?
Well, what you see there was a 3-for-2 for blue side, and the Herald as well. So Zutter and the company really coming out on top. And you know what? I liked as you see this replay here. Zutter going all the way in, pops the ultimate, and Ariandel is kind of stuck in no man's lane. He's on the Herald, but by himself, his team is nowhere to be found. The culling comes out, but there's just not enough damage, not enough team fight just yet for red side. And then you see right here, Town able to get back in here. And what I want to notice here is what Cookie Crook does. So he gets hit with the Moonlight Vigil, and then he's kind of playing with Zeka in the smoke. I think you're okay with Aphelios getting the kill here, but playing here a little bit and allowing the chance for this Akali to get some damage on you. So when you get hit by the turret, she gets the gold. I don't think you want that gold on the Akali, because there's some amazing singular outplays that you can have. Luckily enough, I mean, you don't want gold on either one of these champs, but he was able to get it onto the Aphelios instead.
This feels like bad beef here against Cookie. They don't like Cookie that much. Zeka just is going to survive a beautiful dive 3v1 at the top lane. the top side, and this is we're gonna drop the Herald here, so even more damage, and they got to stop the bleeding here somehow. The red side, they're losing a lot of momentum. Now, understanding how Cookie kind of worked in that last team fight, and how close it was. I think he even tried to get that kill onto Akali. If he got that QW combo off, and if it actually hit Akali there, that would have been a highlight moment for sure for Cookie. But just understanding how the macro game works right now, the pressure is on, right? This is the Bonson burner on. Now Avi's going to get targeted. He's going to have to steal an ult to get away, but he's not going to get away. And that's just spelling disaster for the entire red side. They lost one, and now they're losing a second. So for sure, they need to come up with an answer. But you could see that the blue side is now assessing the pros and cons to their approach, and they're kind of changing their approach. And you're seeing that through the macro plays.
Yeah, and what we saw a little bit earlier, right before that play, was red side trading their tier 2 top for bot tier 1. That's not a very even trade there, but at the same time, that Herald probably didn't even need to be dropped. The tower was down to like 25% health when the Herald got dropped, and there was no second charge. So you did get tier 2. Probably could have saved it a little bit longer to hit mid, because that was still a pretty new. There was time on the Herald still. Not gonna take too much out of that, but Ariandel was forced to use ult to stay alive in the mid lane, so he has no real 1v1 pressure here on this Akali. No ultimate, a little bit down in damage, I would say, in this matchup. The burst and mobility, so not gonna really have any effect right now, negatively, but you will see that he really can't be, I would say, too aggressive as he does, slice and dice his way forward.
Yeah. I mean, he got his ult back up there, Shells. He's just like, all right, I got my ult back up, ready to fight here. This guy's a fighter for sure. I mean, every time I'm looking at Renekton, he's taking a very risky all-ins, but somehow doesn't die. But here we go, an engage. Called upon by Avi. They don't not public commit on that one knowingly, because guess what? Cookie still is on a cooldown with the ultimate and is trying to clear this wave in the top lane against Decoy. So they really need to play around their strengths, and that's one of them is just having that Gangplank ulti up and available.
Yeah, you do want to try to set up and play around that Gangplank ult. He's kind of a weaker champ right now, kind of getting bullied a bit, as you do see this Lucian have to get out of there real quick before he gets a lot of damage taken. But yeah, you see the Cookie Crook is just stuck in the lane. It's really farming because he has to get stronger. He needs more items. Gotta get that crit up. And crit Gangplank is the way to go. By the way,
What is that move there? Avi goes in, goes golden, just takes that risky chance. Love to see it. But now he goes over the wall into the wrong fellows. They're just waiting with open arms. He goes down, and now look at that re-engagement. Beautiful double kill there by Zeka. And they're just putting the pressure on. Everybody's picking up a kill there. Decoy, and there is the ace. First ace in 22 Winter Showcase, ladies and gentlemen. Love to see it.
You know what? I would love to see the replay on that, because just like Tristana, on Sylas, you can get baited by your own abilities, or rather the ultimate that you steal from others. How he goes in, he takes the Akali ult, but look, he goes in and tries to make a one-man play. And, that's a good way to, show that you have skill. But look at this. 1v3, E's backwards, uses the stopwatch a little early, but watch this right here. Goes in with the Akali ult into 2 for, I'm trying to figure out for what reason. He'll probably have to tell me that a little bit later on. But then this kind of is the dinner bell being rang. You see it right here. Zeta says, okay, I can press R, I can spin a little bit, and I can make sure my team gets the very quick, very easy ace under tier 1 mid turret. And there is just, the goal was even about 3 minutes ago. Show ain't now.
Well, Shells, I kind of understand why Avi is doing that, because they need to create plays just like now. That is a beautiful engage on the double one. Zutter's not in a lot of trouble, the back line, and that is just the amount of damage from the other side. Blue side said, hold up, we're right here. Reinforcement has arrived. Akali goes in with the ulti, just executes that perfectly. One down. Ariandel is just biting the dust here. Very low on HP already, 1 foot in the grave, but guess what? The gold for sustain, and Decoy is just showing up from the back line, destroying everybody there. Double kill for this top laner, Titan. I might add, Zev just found a beautiful route there, and now Admirable Potato just gonna go down. Cookie is second to target. Just a beautiful cleanup on aisle 9. Double kill for Zeka. You could see the team is just working, right? The machine is turning, and there's no coming back.
I think you might be a little new to this grocery store because that is aisle 15, as in 2 letters you don't like to see in the chat. Look, I'm not saying we gotta stop right here, but it's about as cooked as it gets. And like you said, you want to try to make plays if you're Imavi, as someone who can make plays on the team, but there's just too many strong champions. Riven is just absolutely nuts. There's too much healing. Akali being able to just go in and do so much damage, you are just not going to be able to withstand this sort of individual play from each of these players, from the Riven and the Akali. But then the whole squad shows up. You have Zev flashing aggressively, getting the root like you mentioned, and then setting up for the team. I mean, what are you going to do? You're not going to kill this Akali
Right,
here. And then Riven comes in there. Do you see any damage happening to Decoy? No, you do not. In fact, honestly, autos at this point heal Riven. There is not any sort of anti-heal coming through from any player on red. And honestly, at this point, can you really afford to give up damage to try to get anti-heal from a player who has 2 different lifesteal items? Really, no. So, I mean, you have to have either hope for a crazy outplay or pray that Decoy and Town and maybe even Zutter's monitors turn off all at the same time for about 3 minutes each and find a way back into this game. But other than that, barring that, with the Baron buff here, pushing down mid,
Really
one
hard.
player up
Hard.
top,
Yeah.
it's going to be tough.
Well, you know, one thing is, like, I have to give it to Avi. He kind of went all in because both teams were steadily rising up in gold and objectives, but he had to find a play like that opening, right? So I actually kind of commend him for that, because it takes a lot of confidence to pull off a play like that, and it kind of showcases that he's willing to take the risk. Because a lot of other times, you know, I'm trying to like look at the positive of what Avi did there, but and again, look at that beautiful engage. Maybe something could happen here, and there it is. He trying to live there, but look at the TP plays coming down. And one shutdown. This is huge if they could get away with it. Ariandel very low. Cookie is here to save some time. That's going to be goodbye to this mid lane inhibitor. Shortly will fall down. No long for the world. And this is just kind of like the play that we're seeing. Ariandel very heads up with it. Uses the TP to get something else on the map. Get something more gold. And they just need to interrupt the calls here. And look at that. Zeka goes golden. The collapse is happening. Zev looking for a target with the gun here. Again, this is just a game of weaving in and weaving out, trying to stall as much time as they can so they could get back in the game here from the red side.
And that's the wild thing. There is so much mobility on both sides here. And you mentioned the teleport from Ariandel, which you'll notice is Cookie Cook. Earlier in that fight that was happening mid lane at that inhibitor turret, he was actually pushing waves. He pushed 2 waves bot, took that tier 2 turret, and he had to actually teleport back into the base to help out on that play. Once that play fizzled out, the call was made. Ariandel, you try pushing. Did that turret go down? I actually cannot see the inhibitor turret bot side. I'm not sure.
It did. It did go down.
Did it go down? All right, cool. So
yeah.
So you get something on the map. It's not a whole lot. You are, down 3 turrets, but you want to find gold where you can. You get objective gold for the bounties. So I mean, you do get some advantage for the team, but you have to find a way to stop getting outplayed. And Decoy is saying, look, you want to come through and 1v1 me? We can do it if you're really trying to, but there it is. Go ahead and walk on back. The wave's gone, Croc. I might turn you into a pair of boots if you step up any further. And that's the kind of thing you have to do. You have to mitigate your losses. You got to try to find a way to survive and fight another day. But the fight is going to get brought to them very, very quickly.
The odds are not in red side's favor right now, right? The odds you're looking at, the probability that they will lose is very, very high. However, now comes the time to make kind of those risky plays. It will pay off, because if you stay playing safe, you're not going to get anything. You're just going to get steamrolled, and that's just going to be the end of it. So I'm looking at this point, who are the risk takers? Who are the playmakers? And this is going to be where, I guess, for their showcase, for their highlights to be made as players and individuals coming up and rising above difficulty and obstacles. And you could see slowly but surely they're getting less resources. Their base is not looking great. They just need to, try to stop the bleeding at this point.
Yep, and you do see pings going down for Baron right now, and the train is rolling. all 5 members, no, the 4 members of blue side making their way to Baron, drawing the attention of red side over there. But look who is splitting. They banned out that Fiora, they banned out that Camille. It doesn't matter. Riven can go ahead and split push just as well, and making sure that at least one member does stay. Now with the global ult there from Cookie Crook, you get the temporary call off of the Baron. But now that ult's gone, and you can just, there it is, say, okay, I don't see any more cannonballs flying from the sky. Let's go ahead and take this purple worm down. Ward there, you can see it, but can you stop it?
Can you stop this? I mean, that's the question here. There's the goal difference is not too much where you could say this is out of the question. But again, beautiful engage by Zutter, starting off the fight in their side. And now you can see Andrea is just trying to stop getting bled to death here. Oh, he's just gonna get that heal with the Q, but it's not enough. Is you Cookie in the front line, maybe trying to salvage this team fight somehow, some way. And that's Avi going down without a fight. Cookie's not gonna get collapsed on. He does not have flash to get away from this one. And just like that, he goes down. And Decoy is on his 5th kill. And guess who has 3 kills away from hitting double digits? It's Zeka on this Akali, just assassinating people left and right.
25 names in that burn book, looking like an absolute mean girl right now. I mean, he hits like a truck, and I mean a Mack truck with 58 different on it. I'm talking about this is menace on the road. But even a bigger menace is this Nexus, and blue side wants to go ahead and make sure it never sees the light of day again. Zev gets killed, but the Nexus gets killed.
Yes,
that's the word.
It does.
And game over.
And you know, I want to highlight something about what these players have said, and I quote Zutter in the survey, I believe that Team Ambition did. He said, "I'm not quite sure what I want to do. I just enjoy playing in a competitive environment. The end goal would be to go pro, but it's a long ride and it's something that I'm not committed to yet." But from what we saw here, Shells, that is great. Some great jungling, pulling the trigger off in instances that had to be pixel perfect, kind of setting up the team for success. And then you saw Zeka just dominating time and time again, getting those right targets, the ADC, the backline, assassinating what matters. So all in all, you know, very good game from the blue side.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, I don't want to speak too much. We talked about blue side a lot in that game, but I think what we want to look at as well is in these sort of showcases, it's not only about wins and losses, it's about how you play. So even in a loss, I think it's good for managers and coaches and scouts to see, okay, you're even for a good amount of time, 2 bad fights and you're down big. How do you play? Do you get tilted? Do you start making a bunch of ego plays? We did see that Ariandel was going in as Renekton and using that ult quite a bit, dying kind of often, getting caught in the middle of 3. There was times when Avi was going in. I like to see aggressiveness, but you also want to see what is your mindset when you are in a losing environment, when you are in a losing situation. Can you still keep that composure and allow the team to come back? And even if you don't come back, just seeing that what the mindset is when a team is losing, there are really good characteristics in how a player does react to a negative situation in the game. So, look, shout out to all 10 players in this game. We'll see some of the same players when we come back. We'll see some new players as well. But, you know, hats off to blue side. They absolutely put on the Timberlands, put on the Uggs, whatever you want to call them, apple bottom boots with the fur, and they stomped.
I can't believe you said the Uggs there, Shells.
I got a pair of Uggs on right now.
Got you. Well, I'm wearing Nike slippers right now. The top half of us, I'm pretty sure as casters, probably all professional. It's like, and then there's like PJs and stuff. But anyway, that's neither here or there. Too much brain learning stuff going on here for me today, understanding how everything works. But when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for part 2, I guess, or second half of the games. We'll be right back shortly.
days, counting all the ways I died. Everything I couldn't save, buried down, still half alive. It's got me crawling in my skin, but no one's coming out to hold me close. Pouring out the gasoline, yeah, I've been making friends with all these ghosts, and I got nothing left to lose. Fight to the future. Not me to turn and run. Met the bitter truth and I choked it down. Left a bad taste on my tongue, but my appetite's been growing now. I can see you crawling in your skin, but no one's coming out to hold you close. I'm pouring out the gasoline, so say hello to all my ghosts. From your eyes, and this is not a warning, this is not a test. I'm tuning on you and I'm coming for the rest, and I'm about to reignite. Just try to play it cool. Echoes in my head. to the fallen, leave me to be with the broken one last time before I go. Hold the last burning ember, let us never surrender. May we rise up to the call for the glory and the fall. For the weak and the broken, for the lost and forsaken, let us never surrender. May we rise up to days, counting all the ways I died. Everything I couldn't save, buried down, still half alive. It's got me crawling in my skin, but no one's coming out to hold me close. Pouring out the gasoline, yeah, I've been making friends with all these ghosts, and I got nothing left to lose. Fight to the future. Choked it down, left a bad taste on my tongue, but my appetite's been growing now. I can see you crawling in your skin, but no one's coming out to hold you close. I'm pouring out the gasoline, so say hello to all my ghosts. I'm sick and disgusted, but I'm back with a match, yeah, I'm a
I'd love to hear about it, man. Oh, we're live? Oh, we're live. Oh, yeah. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I mean, it was a long break, so I was just like, are we live? Are we not? Are we getting out of the matrix yet? But I'm here with Shells. We're just catching up on the last game. We're talking about, who's who and what's what. I think there's been some changes here. Shells, you could walk us through. I guess I don't want to put you on the spot right away, but there has been some additions here of new players.
There most certainly has been. We see a lot of new faces. We see a lot of faces as well. So right now we have Blank, Zutter, Ariandel, and Zev once again. But this red side of Decoy, who we have seen on the top side, but we have Dime in the jungle, Onat in the in mid, Slurps in Solaria, excuse me, playing in that bot side as a duo. We'll get more introduced to them as we do move on. We'll look at the draft as it's shaping up and go from there. And you'll see right away, Kane Band, Kane mains in this showcase are aplenty. He is becoming a lot stronger. Blue Kane got a buff. I actually don't know just how strong he is. I've heard his healing is disgusting now. But I mean, just going through the train as well, just absolutely just nutty. But you do see the Wukong, which had a pretty big impact in the last game. If you want to, pretty big is an understatement. That's already out the door. We're not going to be seeing Zutter back on that Wukong.
Zutter, yeah, the quote that I said last time, it was from Zutter when we concluded the game and went on to the break. I mean, Zutter put on quite a performance there, and rightfully so. I do not want to see him on that Wukong again. So actually, Red Team did me a favor here, and everybody, all the watchers, we want to expect something different. Dig in deep in that champion pool, and on both sides we're seeing that. But hold up, Shells, that's the first big Graves on our screens.
Yep. And Graves was one of the first bands in the last game. You saw Red Side say, "Okay, Zutter, you don't get to play your Graves." And he said, "Okay, next Red Team, y'all don't want to ban my Graves. Don't even worry about it." And we saw, some of these more farming junglers get hit on their first preseason patch. Now Graves is coming a lot stronger in the meta once again. And when Graves is meta, it's a rough time for these laners. It's going to be really, really tough. But we're looking at this first pick karma for Solaria. You don't usually see, well, potentially, it's going to be a lane karma, but karma first pick is not a very, very common thing to see. I am going to guess you're going to see with Caitlyn gone, probably an Ezreal paired with her, but we'll have to look at that. That's going to be a very interesting pick there.
Based off of the interesting thing. I think that's what we're looking for here. Showcase, got to be fun, got to be interesting, and we've all been waiting for this. Last game was really good, but now this is kind of like a clean slate, different players, different expectations. So I want to approach this as if we're watching this game for the first time ever, and we don't know what to expect, what games or what gameplay we're going to expect from this. Again, as we discussed, or was discussing, Lucian, like it's seemingly becoming more popular. Apparently, from the based on the results. I don't know what Risen stream and the other streams are picking, but Nami and Lucian is that go-to kind of like that safe route, and we know what to expect.
Yeah, so Nami Lucian is a staple in that bot lane. Did not win our last game, but you can bet that we're going to be seeing a healthy handful of that coming out because there's just so many more strong picks that you don't want to see from this second patch of the preseason. And one of those biggest offenders is the Hecarim. We all remember back when Hecarim was super giga ultra mega salty chocolatey busted when he was running that Kim tank. Now with Ravenous Hydra still disgusting, with Jack Show being the literal strongest item in the game, stronger than Zonia's, which, believe it or not, Hecarim is actually a menace on the map. And we do see the Ezreal Karma lane, a lot of safety, a lot of range coming through there, which is going to be a really strong counter into the kind of shorter range, very aggressive style Lucian Nami. But you see it right here. There is a very strong focus for this red side. Have a safer kind of scaling lane that can do well by itself in the bot side, and then have a playmaking, absolutely busted champ in Hecarim in the jungle.
Honestly, every time I think when season 12 started, I think Hecarim was one of the most feared junglers out there, taking down names and making plays. And I feel like it's coming back now in full circle. We are, going to be preseason. We're going to move on to new patches. I think Hecarim has had a long story, both in meta and off the meta, and I just want to see this type of caliber of players play this very, very good and diverse jungler. You're able to do so much with him, and I feel like Graves too. Moving when you said that, a lot of laners have to be worried. They got to watch their backs from this Graves. He's very mobile, but also their team just looks to be doing a lot of damage right out the box.
Yeah, and speaking of, kind of very strong, very unique kind of champions, you see once again, Decoy gets his not Akshan, I get in my his Cassante banned once again. Players don't want to play against this champion. He is actually a little too, I mean, honestly, kind of confusing me just a little bit. Too tanky, too much mobility, and he's able to isolate and get one of your champions out of a fight and then slow them down. So, I mean, you want to make sure that you don't have there's too much volatility there. and too much unpredictability when going to get to Cassante. So make sure that a player who has been playing him a lot in solo queue can't get that specialty. You may not have seen it very much yourself. So you say, okay, you're good on this champion. I don't know how to play against it just yet. You do not get to touch it. And you know what? Actually, Grog is coming out here for I assume it's going to be Decoy, a champ that you don't see very much, but is a lot more familiar to these players. I am very very curious to see how he decides to play this champion.
So just to double check here, we got Zutter, Ariandel, Zev, Potato as the lineup on the red side. So just want to double check that. Solaria on the blue, new edition Slurps. We got Onat, Dime, and Decoy. Decoy is playing on switch sides
Yeah,
apparently. So
yeah,
that should be interesting to see. You know, the weight that he had last game definitely did carry the top side for quite some time. And in this instance, who's going to be the top laner here? Is it going to be Gragas? We're seeing that staple Gragas maneuvers. It was Riven and then Gragas. I think it's been interesting so far to see what Decoy is able to do now. Past teams for this top laner was PGCQ with I think Team Ambition. So his goal also is to go pro. A lot of these players' goal is to go pro or amateur. So um, good luck to them, and good luck to the rest of the players as well, and not on this stream to kind of get a good showing and put that in their portfolios or highlight reels of what they're capable of doing.
yeah. We're going to be looking at these guys having a good opportunity with multiple chances to go ahead and make these moves, and this is a great place to do it. But what you'll notice here is that these two teams have two very different identities. Blue side, there is a lot of healing, a lot of just going in, a lot of short range. Lucian, Graves, both short range. Mundo and Silas, both melee champions. All two kind of beefy champions. Mundo being an HP monster, and then the red side, every single champion on this team has high mobility. The speed up from Karma, Hecarim, his whole identity is speed, just like Sonic. Ezreal has very great mobility. You know what Gragas and Ari do. All these champions, except for Karma, have a way to get in very quickly on you and traverse walls, that kind of stuff, the terrain, to get away defensively. Some of them have to use their ults, some of them have basic abilities to do that, but these are two teams. One that wants to go in and just fight you. The other team wants to keep you at arm's length, but they can go in and engage quickly, or they can see, okay, he's engaging on me. Mundo's running me down, slow me down a little bit. I can pop my ult, get pretty far away, use my E. Actually, both Gragas and Ezreal use their E's to get that mobility over walls just in general. So I mean, you have two teams that know exactly what they want to do, and both these teams have champions with who abuse very very broken items. Mainly Jack Show. I expect to see that from both Mundo and Hecarim. Maybe even Gragas if he decides to go tank, but I assume if you're here, you probably want to go AP.
Yeah, I think the matchups this game, Shells, is going to be interesting. Here's solo lanes, right? Last game, my attention was really glued to what's going on in the mid lane. That was really explosive. Ariandel was trying to put on a show as well. His name is Jeffrey. He plays UCI Esports from 2017 to 2020. So a CLOL champion in 2018, semifinalist in 2019. He has a lot of potential here. Last game, we were seeing him on that Renekton, if I'm not mistaken. So this game is going to be a little bit of a change for him. So really excited for that. Again, the playmaker. I like seeing that solo kind of matchup and how they're holding their own weight.
Yeah, Ariandel is a very familiar name to a lot of us who have been out here in the amateur scene for a minute. He's been, like you said, a player. He's been a coach for a minute. And if we could just go ahead and look at where these champions are all going, I have a pretty strong thought that if we're looking at Karma Bot as a support and Gragas in a solo lane, but I want to make sure that we don't see anything crazy like Gragas support with a Karma top or anything crazy. But yeah, we're looking at pretty standard what we expected here out of both these squads. And look, I really do expect to see a lot more volatile fights here. Maybe a little bit more of a closer competition than our first game. We'll be looking at Ariano, see if, like you said, if you can get some redemption from the last game. We have 4 new players on red side, and we're gonna be looking at them saying, okay, we saw what some of y'all did last game. Some of y'all popped off. Okay, we like to see that or whatever, and you're on the same side. But we're here to make a name for ourselves too. See, Dime hasn't really played much at all. He played in UAL, which isn't even the highest level that Unified has for players. It's the UPL, the Unified Premier League. So it's a player in Dime who's looking to make a big jump from what kind of competition he was in before. Hasn't played any real competitive like amateur or academy, or even been in some of these the these camps or any of these tryouts for like a FlyQuest or a Team Liquid. So we are looking at some very new players on the scene making a move to say, okay, y'all may be known, but I have something to say myself. And I'm very excited to see new, fresh blood come in, and whether or not they're able to dominate or just show they have the strong characteristics and the things that that coach like to see from a new prospect.
Exactly.
I love to see
being coachable.
players make moves. Exactly.
The new players that are showing their talent, it's one thing, but then again, showing that they're able to improve is another great aspect for a new player. And I feel like in the future, as well as the evolution, as I guess we evolve here in 2020, 2022 showcase for the winter season here for Team Ambition, we could make notes of maybe, like, I don't want to sound too kind of like educational or whatever, like a rubric of what scouts are looking for in terms of player personality. Maybe even we're talking about this earlier, Shells, punctuality among players could be important. I mean, these are some things that we're seeing in front of us, right? But there are things that are intangible that we cannot see through the screen and through the gameplay, which is comms, which is just player personality, how well they're able to adapt, and in face of all odds, how we're able to kind of bring the positive aspect to the team. These are some great things that I feel like a lot of casters don't talk about those things, and when it comes to competitiveness. And we will get to that in a minute here. We should just throw it to a break, and we'll see you guys in a bit. With that said, stay tuned. All good.
I lied awake for days, counting all the ways I died. Everything I couldn't save, buried down, still half alive. It's got me crawling in my skin, but no one's coming out to hold me close. Pouring out the gasoline, yeah, I've been making friends with all these ghosts, and I got nothing left to lose. Fight to the future. It's not me to turn and run. Met the bitter truth and I choked it down. Left a bad taste on my tongue, but my appetite's been growing now. I can see you crawling in your skin, but no one's coming out to hold you close. I'm pouring out the gasoline, so say hello to all my ghosts.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Yeah, and look at that early trades with Silas. You don't want to be really passive with this champion when you have him in your hands. You always want to be putting on the pressure, especially if you're like laning with Silas and not just so much jungling. The early game is super, super important. And Ari, oh, wait a minute, those Zev found an opportunity. That's the arcane shift. You just get away from dangers like that. But here we go. Early shenanigans from Dunk Squad. Under the turret, he's going to pick up the first blood. Will he go down for it, though? Very, very close. The sliver HP walks away.
No, 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 my friend. We call that not close at all. That was easy money. No, not a single worry at all. Maybe he had only 8 HP, but it don't matter. You walk away.
It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
HP didn't matter. Just one
Yeah,
minion
as long as it
attack.
ain't zero, as long as it ain't zero, it was the easiest thing in the world. That's what we say in the chat sometimes. But yeah, I mean, we see Oriendo trying to make a very aggressive move on the Silas, and Ona on the Ari was getting pushed in. It was looking pretty rough, but when you have that speed monster in the Hecarim right there, then I mean you have an opportunity to make moves very quickly, and you do not like to see that horseman with a pickaxe so early at 3 minutes. He's going to be a destructive force for this red side team.
So now let's play like the game of hypothesis, right? Just throwing out accusations or just assumptions out there, right? Like, what are we looking at now that we saw Kill go to Hecarim out of all the champions? You know, Dunk Squad pulled the trigger off early. What is he kind of reaping as his rewards from that? Oh, wait a minute. Zutter might be looking for an opportunity to go here. Decoy notices that early on and backs away, but Zutter is around the corner again, says, hello, my friend. Decoy slowed down. They just need to drop the hammer on his head, but he's just going to walk away, recall, reset.
Yeah, he's able to get that recall and that reset off. So no harm, no foul at all. But yeah, like you were mentioning, getting that gold onto Hecarim is a huge thing. You do get this Hecarim to pick up Hecarim to have a very fast early game and get yourself moving as soon as possible. Thanks to Chanatonin in the chat right there for letting me know that the microphone was not right. I had the thing on the wrong mic, but hey, my boy in the chat really helped me out here. It's a bad move for Cash to look at the chat while they're in the game, but hey, it works out sometimes for the best. And you do see this Hecarim having a great time. I mean, that pickaxe to start off with is going to be a very, very strong start. I'm very curious to see what exactly the build is going to be, since we are not going for that Rav. I really want to see what the build is going to be for this Hecarim. But Ona on this Ari still getting some really good trades. So Red Side having a really fun time right now in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm just all for the stages of the game. I mean, early action is always good, and you got to just play to your strengths. You know, if you're playing someone like Hecarim and you do not gank, I think there should be a penalty. I think League of Legends should start issuing out penalties. I think the game will be more fun. Like if you don't use the champion the right way or something, like that'd be fun. But for showcase purposes, we're all just having fun, and also kicking off things on the right note. Zev in this bot lane. We didn't talk much about this bot lane duo, right? They're running Ignite. They're running Cleanse on Zev as well. And wait a minute, Zutter just finds an opportunity here on that 2v1. Can he get away from that one? Oh, the charm does not land, but Dunk Squad is around the corner. They're gonna double down on this. Zutter is just kind of walking away, regretting the decisions he's made, especially now in the bot lane. Speaking of that Cleanse, it's popped. A very nice stun coming out. Look, talk about timing, pixel perfect. And Potato trying to kind of tank all that damage head on, but Solaria maybe could get the root off in time. And there it is, Soup Fan trying to make it work, but very, very close stuff, Shells.
A very, very volatile bot side 2v2, and like look, this is no ganks at all, just coming in. But Dunk Squad, the Hecarim coming in from that Tribe Rush. Do we just go in?
Dives.
We do.
He goes in. He dives.
No.
Oh no! Came back. Negative, my friend. That was not the play. But hey, he took the risk. He felt confident. He was like, you know, do I go in? Do I not go in? And Shells, you know, we're talking about assumptions. We did not expect that from Dunk Squad.
You know what? I actually like you said earlier in the last game. I do like that. You're in a showcase. You don't want to sit here and just play safe. You want to go. You want to show that you're willing to go for it. Not excessively, but you want to go for it. And
Speaking of going for it, there's no mana on Decoy, so you had to rely on that flash to get away. So this is the second time where Zutter is just like, let me put some pressure on Decoy, because they're probably just watching the stream, right? They were just seeing that Decoy is a force to be reckoned with, so they're trying to alleviate some of that pressure and help out on main top lane, who's playing Dr. Mundo.
Yeah, and you do want to make sure that this Gragas, which is going to be going for the more AP build. We're not going to be building tank. That's not what we do in these showcase matches. We want to make sure that we are doing the most to prove, who we are. And, playmaking is still important in these kind of things. You have to remember that it's not just about the win. It's about how you look in the win. It's about how you play in the play style and how your particular play can help out a team that could be watching these VODs or maybe even watching live to see maybe one of these players here are guys who we would really like to have for this upcoming split for the Salt League. Exactly. And I mean, I love calling it Salt League. It's NACL. The LCS really walked into that one. It's a lovely little name.
Well, speaking of that, Shell's like, the requirements, right? People who are watching this, they have eyes, and we all have eyes where we're seeing stuff. But obviously, we're coming here with some brain activities of our own and requirements of our own and things that we want in our teams, right? If you're a coach or something and you're already taking notes and seeing that what's going on in the bot lane, Zutter just goes in, cleans up, and that's the second target. Solaris trying to, do some little dancing there, the quick feed. I mean, you can't get away from that. There's no way you can get away from that, and that's all about timing. Great job from Zutter to close that one out.
Yeah, using the E and the flash to get in there. And what I love to see here is, yes, sometimes you can make a singular play, like a solo play, not a solo play, but a play that's more, I guess. Yeah,
speaking of plays, we're not getting a break here, Shells.
Okay.
Onat almost landed that one, but the flash had to be burnt from Ariandel. He does now have the TP to get back in lane if he wants to kind of pressure that lane and pick up some minions. You could see the rotations from Dunk Squad as well as Zutter. They're on the opposite sides of the map. Maybe some ganks are to be had here, or an invasion. You can see that Dunk Squad uses this opportunity. They are pinging him now. They're going to go for that blue. He's just having a field day right now.
And you do see that Nami Seer Potato is in the wing, so he's going to go ahead and push out this Hecarim, and he's in a rough spot right now.
Can he get away, though? That's the question. He does have the ulti. They just need to land one more shot. And Zutter finds the kill. And that's the first one for him in this game.
And that's the way to get your blue, but also get another 300 gold on top. Okay, you can get the blue. You take the blue. But when I kill you, I get the blue and I get 300 gold. It's all good, brother. You can make sure you get that one snack for your Pokemon, but I get the gold and I get the buff. So don't even worry about it. Like we mentioned a little bit earlier, Flash.
Thanks for leashing.
Yeah, thanks for the leash, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this no matter what. That's a heads up play by Potato coming up. Seeing the pings, seeing all that happening, and now the dinner bell has been rung for that Herald. Just got it in the back pocket, and that is how you snowball a very good play there. You say, okay, you're gonna try to invade on me. That's not gonna work out, brother. And you get the blue back, you get the objective, and now you find yourself in a very good position for your team. Where, Dunk Squad was going crazy with that early first kill, but now Blue Side's in very, very strong control.
And we're learning also how two different playstyles are happening. Oh, there's a beautiful ulti coming down from above. Decoy might be able to get away with this if he could just slow him down a little bit. He's catching up, and I'm in top lane just trying to run away behind his minion.
Mundo. That's Mundo.
No mana on Decoy. Just, wow, what an interaction there, Cells. That was insane.
Look, well, you know what they say. Mundo goes where he pleases, and he just goes under turret. Doesn't matter. You can knock a barrel into him. Ariandel will probably be safe by the skin of his teeth.
Wow.
But yeah, this Mundo is already a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do? You know what Mundo does. He stacks HP, and he says, "If you want to kill me, you might have to die yourself." And well.
Dude, what was that? Zeb just went in there and deleted the target, and Decoy goes down. Guess what? Whoever finishes last wins there, and that's the moral of the story. You don't want to start off the early fight unless you can't finish it. And Mondo was like, okay, you did your little showcasing stuff there, Decoy, but I'm gonna put the nail in the hammer there, or hammer in there, whatever the saying goes.
You know what? Proof. That is a good lesson, not only in League of Legends but in life as well. Some of my ex-girlfriends used to say as well. Whoever finishes last wins, and you see it just right there on the map. Mundo goes where he pleases, and
Yeah.
he teases Decoy with that low HP under turret. Gets the gold, gets to go back. Has teleport still. Won't have to use it because that wave is under turret. I mean, he is in a spectacular position here. Gets to walk back to lane, but it looks like we're going to get the lane swap actually. Zev and Potato able to get that bot side turret, so they're saying, okay, let's get more plates top side. Mundo, you can go bot because you can go where you please, my brother. And we're
Well, it's
seeing
not
this
like
blue
that
side
though,
go
right?
absolutely crazy.
Is this Shells? Because not only the Mundo pleases wherever he goes, it's just look at Zev. This guy has 5 kills, and it's been 12 minutes so far. The time is ticking. I guess it just doesn't matter. This guy's just been getting kills left and right. 6K
Lordy.
gold.
Lordy.
Oh, that's why they're changing the lanes. They're having the lane swap. They just want to bully the top laner. They want to bully Decoy, throwing some damage at his face. And we're seeing the dynamic change. And I feel like my first question that I asked in the stream for all of us here watching, Dunk Squad, right? He started off pretty good, got that early on gank, but we're seeing kind of like two different sides of jungling. Zutter is more methodical and he's making plays that are not kind of like rushed. So I guess at the end of the day, another thing that the takeaway for us is kind of seeing the two different dynamics of jungling. One's playing very aggro, but the other one is just playing more smart. I guess making better plays, and it kind of pays off for the entire team.
You know what? It's a good point you made there because if you notice in that earlier gank bot side where Zev got that first double kill, hold up though. I think we're going to be safe here as Dunk Master does, or Dunk Squad does come down to see if there is anything to have to do there. Drops a ward there over the wall, but nothing's going to happen. There was a moment where Zutter could have gotten both those kills on Soupfan and Solaria, as we probably won't see much happen here if Ariando plays safely. Not sure why we take the Karma ult. I think that was maybe a misclick. That's going to be fine. He's going to live, and that Silas ult has a very low cooldown. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's 2v1. I mean, top lane does not
Doesn't
care
matter.
here.
Does not
Just
matter.
gonna walk away. Does have that movement speed. Dunk Squad is just trying to, tap on his wrist, saying, "Time to go, buddy. Don't be causing trouble on the bot side on my watch." And Solaria is just again trying to fend off any intruders in their jungle. These wards will come in handy later on as well. So it's important to have that sweeping and just clear out any possible intel that you're giving to the enemy.
Yeah, at this point, hitting Mundo is just going to be healing him. He does not care in the least bit. But to go back to the point about the jungler playstyle and the, I guess, the ideology, what we saw from Dunk Squad was he was going for a kill for himself, and he was able to secure it. Zutter on that early flash play bot side, he could have gotten the kill on both bot laners, but he decided to give both of them to Zev, gave him the double kill, and it made Zev much stronger in that lane, and was able to fend for himself and get another 2v2 without his jungler coming through. And now, like he said before, he's a menace on the map, 5 kills, 1.5 items. He is going to be going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, Ariandel just a little too comfortable there, and that's the cause of death for many players when they start getting too comfortable. You always have to have one eye open, especially when you're ahead. Or actually, he's not even that ahead, right? He's 0-2 Ariandel, but he's trying to make that play on Silas, and kind of comes back to haunt him there. But overall, though, Shells, we're seeing some high caliber plays on both sides.
Yeah, we are, and I think we're getting a good sense of. We've seen him a lot, but we get a good sense of who Ariandel is as a player. He does play very aggressively. He's very willing to go in and very willing to make moves.
Silas curse, I guess. Like whoever's playing Silas is playing very aggressive. Last time it was I guess Avi, right? So or Avi. So it's whoever's playing Silas is just going all in, I feel like.
Yeah, but even yeah, that's absolutely true. But even on the what was he playing? The Renekton last game, he was still going in a lot. Yeah. So he's a player who likes to play aggressively. He's a player who likes to go in and try to make plays, which can be the kind of guy that teams do want to have. A mid laner who is aggressive and will make those plays. But sometimes you have to pick your spots, and that's just fine. We'll see if Ariandel can turn this thing around. Only 0-2 on the winning side of this matchup, so 100% of the deaths on his team. But we'll see how he plays. If he changes his play style to be a little bit more conservative while his team is ahead, or if he continues to play aggressively and try to show, okay, I may have gotten pushed out and been a little bit too aggressive in the lane before, but I can come back and play a bit more of a different role now that my squad's ahead. We have basically 100% of objectives so far.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to worry about, and I guess that's where you're getting a little too comfortable inside of the blue squad here, right? They're like, okay, you know, we got this in the bag, kind of. They're 5K gold ahead. They probably don't know that, but oh, here we go. There's again that Mundo drawing so much attention to him, and that's why I like this champion a lot. You could use him in so many ways to be a lane bully or just in general, kind of weaving and weaving out. And one thing I wanted to talk about, Shells, is the kind of like the alt stacking on the red side, right? They have a lot of movement on their side, and they could really set up for great plays on their side. So a very powerful thing they have going on is that Karma ulti. They also have the charm from Ahri. So whoever has kind of like, again, Zev has that 550 gold bounty on his head. If they manage to get this target, if the red team managed to get this target, then there's still a chance for them to win team fights, turn around objectives, because this game's still early on.
I agree, but trying to get picks on a Mundo probably ain't it. You want to probably gotta try to get picks onto the carries, onto the squishier targets. Ult getting thrown out there, you're not gonna catch this Mundo. You will catch him,
so
but
perfect.
he won't die for it. So you want to make sure you're trying to go for some of these other targets. And you see, walking past the turret, probably gonna go back to the inhib turret if you really wanted to. There is no kill pressure at all for Soupfan. And this is actually a kill.
No, Soupfan walked, made the wrong step there, and he got really punished. And I mean, top lane, he has been unequivocal right now in terms of laning, in terms of drawing attention. He's creating so much space for his team. Here comes Dunk Squad, maybe trying to get some gold in his pocket. 250 gold bounty on top of the kill. Here we go. Red turret goes down, and that is a beautiful setup from the blue side. They are punishing heavy. This red team are just experiencing the pressure now. It's building up. Now they're going to say goodbye to the second tier turret in the mid lane. There's no answer on their side just yet.
And this is the thing that that makes me wonder about. You see a lot of people. There's a couple different keystones you can go on Hecarim. The phase rush here, trying to stay up with some of these other champions on the blue side, and there is a bit of decent mobility for blue side, but there isn't really a ton happening for this Hecarim. He does have Ravenous right now, which is still a very, very great item on the horseman, but there isn't, when you spend so much time trying to answer a Mundo, look, you have to understand you're not killing him. I don't care what you thought, what you assumed, what you hope to do with Heartsteel and Sunfire. I promise you, my brother, it is way better to say, look, Mundo, unless we have like everyone coming, you're not gonna kill him. Yeah, you're not gonna kill him.
Yeah, it's gonna be
This guy, Ariendo, he does die.
I mean, he does have enough healing with W2. He did use it in the middle of that fight, but
Oh,
more worried about clearing up. And you can see the taunt from the players too. He's just like, all right, is that all you got? Because Dunk Squad, I think he's trying everything, trying to throw in the kitchen sink. Nothing has been working so far, so he's just trying to intimidate the opposite players, his opponents, by maybe getting into their heads. You can see the TPS called upon. The dive is ensued, and there it is. Ona must find the kill, and so far Arendelle has been getting punished. He's the only person on the side of the blue team who has kills, or who's deaths rather.
You know what, Proof? I have to disagree there. I don't think he's getting punished. I think he's punishing himself. He ults in with Hecarim ult before the teleport is done channeling for this Mundo. Why go in before your tank is even available to
limit testing.
Protect you a little bit?
Limit testing. I'll just write that up for limit testing, and just trying to back up Ariandel on that one.
I'm about at my limit for the testing he's doing. But there you see it again. Hecarim just pops, meets.
Oof.
Yes, that's the school supply list has been fulfilled. The glue is in the factory. You see Gragas take a ride. I know I'm just taking away from your play-by-play. I'm sorry for doing it, but
all good.
It happens in the blink of an eye. And once again, maybe we're looking at another meta where blue side is just the stronger side. This is looking not so great. And like we mentioned earlier, that high priority on getting this Karma first pick, it seems like this team got what they wanted on the red side, but you have to wonder, was there a better first pick for red side, or was there a better plan here to play a little bit
not.
more.
Maybe they were just doomed from the get-go. I mean, who knows? And speaking just this Baron pick, we got a contest from the red side. They really not want to get let go of that easily. Ezreal tried, but did not pick it up. On Nat is on a 1v3 streak. I mean, he's just gonna go down there, no doubt about that. But maybe Superfan's gonna pick up something in return. Guess not. Guess not. Not a lucky day for the red side as we're seeing the Baron goes to the blue side and they just pick that one up easy. They look very comfortable. It's just matter of just a checklist at this point. You know, do the play-by-play, not making any mistakes. Kind of get the turrets, get rolling here, and maybe get the Nexus. I mean, that's what we're seeing here. Unless something crazy happens, and the probability of that is not high.
Yeah, this Gragas has full Seraphs and Night Harvester. You're not really going to do anything here as Ariando. Kind of playing on a knife's edge, but he knows he has his team right behind him. So not any real kind of kill pressure at all. But I mean, this is what I was talking about last game. You know, this is a showcase. So, you know, winning, you do want to win, but you also want to show what kind of player you are. And at that Baron pit, you watched multiple members of the red team go in one at a time, try to, I guess, contest Baron by themselves or make a highlight play to get one kill and trade your death. But I think there is value in playing just for the team and playing for the next thing, get an objective and stay alive and be able to fight another day. You're giving over gold and map presence right when the blue squad gets their Baron, and now you're in a rough spot.
Yeah, I think one thing to go off of what you said. Obviously, this is a showcase, but don't be misled by that too much too, because one thing all these players have in common is they like winning. And we've asked them about that too, and it says it on the report. So it's I'm not making this up. There's proof of this. They're saying, especially all these players have one thing in common is that they like winning. So obviously, they don't want to be on the losing end of this showcase tournament and match. And Ariandel is going all in here, creating a lot of space for the team. And here we go, the collapse of TP happening. Maybe this ult gonna go down. Nami throws that down, and there's that true shot barrage rolled it from downtown. Not a lot happens, though. Both teams are just walking away, but the health bars are looking more healthy on the blue side.
Yeah, health bars are looking health barrier. And if you just go down to the bot side, look at this health barriest on this Mundo. I mean, look at all those lines. There is billions upon billions upon billions of HP here. Decoy trying to slow him down. It's gonna take all four of them, maybe. This
they're gonna kick his ass. They might. Well, if they don't, I'll be so surprised. But look at the amount of healing. He's sustaining so much time. What is going on?
That's hard still, baby.
This is not street legal.
He lost 12 health. He lost 12 HP. You sit 4 down there. Look at that. You have Silas still pushing. And the rest of the team base, they weren't even on the map. They didn't even want to help him out. They said, look, we'll base, come back for Dragon. It's up in 10 seconds. Y'all spending all this time and effort trying to kill a Mundo. What you doing over there doing that? You know it ain't going to work. That boy go where he pleases. And look, it's not going to be a fun time for these boys. And now Dragon's up. They have no position to make it on there. There's no real vision for them to crack into their own jungle. We may see an ult into this.
It's going to go in for the 50-50. Can he? At least this is a showcase. Let's see if you got it. Oh, dog squad. Sorry about that, boys. Zev has gotten the Drake, and on top of that, now Ariandel is going to go in, finding almost the kill there as well onto the Gragas. But Decoy has been quick on his feet, that mobile champion, and Gragas is obviously not the most mobile champion, but their whole squad has a lot of mobility on there, and as you can see, Superfan just dodges Death's bullet. Zev could be traded there, but a lot of peel there from Iman-Top. Raj, but that wasn't the shot that killed Zev. In fact, it was Decoy who got that kill, but a lot of resources expended. They are running out of time. As you can see, blue side is just not waiting. They want to end this now.
13K gold lead at 26 minutes. The base is in tatters, and Mundo is still doing what Mundo does, and that's live. He ain't died yet, and I don't think he's going to die anytime soon. If he has survived losing very minimal health in a 4v1, imagine what he does in this 3v4 situation.
Dunking on people, is kicking their ass. Look at that. Dunkton is just walking away. He's like, I don't want this smoke. Decoy goes down. Zutter is doing a phenomenal job of doing this damage, and Iman-Top is closing out the kills, just throwing the cleaver left and right. He almost misses that one. He's just taunting them. This is just sensational stuff from the top laner on the blue side as well. The teamwork that you're seeing from the showcase team is really on point. They're pixel perfect. They're not making a lot of mistakes, and they are really going to close this one out in any minute.
Yeah, they're gonna end the game, but this was done a minute or so ago, and by a minute I mean 15 of them ago. Uh, there's not a single champion. There's not 5 champions. I bet a 5v1 with against this Mundo turns out in his favor. He just walks away. Blank has shown that he is, well, maybe he's great, or maybe Heartsteel, Spirit Visage, and Sunfire are great. The horse, once again, Elmer's glue. And this is a situation where the best case scenario for Red side is, I think, a time machine. But outside of that, it's just all about the waiting game here. There's not much that we can do to change the outcome of this one. I think what you can do, though, there's still value in showing the kind of player you are in a losing situation. Maybe not, go for a crazy 1v1 play. Maybe you show you can still have composure, like I mentioned before, but kind of hard to do that when you die in a blink of an eye.
Delete it.
What do you
see
do?
Slayer just bit the dust there. It just feels bad. I mean, there's not outplay there. I mean, one thing I could look at here is just kind of talking about the kind of like seeing how this all went about, because early on I think is really important, especially for Dunk Squad. He was just putting the weight on his shoulders and was like, let me get the first kill, and then Zutter was like, okay, you get the first kill, but I'm gonna make the smartest play and just go for pressure in the top lane and trying to get this Dr. Mundo fed, and they eventually started playing through this Mundo and then creating a lot more space. So a lot of this stuff, I guess, comes down to being able to adapt and kind of wanting to see your win cons head on. Not a lot of win cons for the red side, unfortunately, right? It was just through playing Dunk Squad's mobility and just banking on that, just kind of trusting the process of they'll outkill and outmaneuver their opponents. But that's not what we're seeing here, is it, Zels?
Not at all. I mean, this is, like you said, this is the Dr. Mundo, but he's looking more like a dentist because he is too thick, and he is gonna be on the winning side of this matchup. Maybe bang his head on the turret. No, he's gonna bang his head on an Ahri.
KDAs at this point. They're just
we're looking
like,
at look at the stats.
Oh, fountain kills. Maybe not.
No fountain kills, but the Nexus will have to be the consolation prize. 29 minutes, 28 deaths total, and 22 of those being on the red side. We've seen complete domination from our blue side squads in both of these games, and I gotta show you, man. I don't know. Was it Zev going crazy? Was it Blank going absolutely bonkers? Was it Zutter who helped set up those 2 kills in that bot side early? This was very, very strong team play for a squad of 5 players who don't have that much experience together, and they show that they can draft a team very well around their strengths. And they showed that maybe, just maybe, Riot, some of these tank items, we gotta balance those slightly.
Yeah. Last game, Shells, if you remember, I kind of quoted a player on the winning side, and I'm going to honor that tradition. Hopefully it does carry on. Let's look at what Zev has said. Since Zev was playing on the Lucian, I feel like a lot of people did not notice, or maybe they did notice, but I want to maybe shed some light on it. He was 5-0 at some point. So let's talk about his goal. He said long-term goal is to be a pro, but also meet new people and learn additional knowledge about the game. League of Legends is always changing, and so it is important to learn from one another to keep up with new changes every patch. I think that just goes on to kind of like his personality, right? Like he played that one perfectly. They dominated bot lane, and I guess at the end of the day, he's that kind of a player that you need in your team who gets along with everybody.
Yeah, these are team environments. These aren't games. A lot of times I talk about games like they're being played on paper, but these are actual people fighting these champions. And chemistry and that kind of thing matters on teams. You like to have a guy who can pop off in game, but you can tell from that quote he's a student of the game. He values networking, which I will tell you right now, for anyone watching, player, coaches, casters, anyone aspiring to get into the industry, networking is key. So you love seeing that from one of these guys who's a little bit newer. And, we talk about making connections, learning the game. He is 100% dialed in. Says he
A lot
wants
of
to be a
potential.
pro, but he knows that the process is the process, and getting connections and making sure you study up on the game is a very strong way to make that happen. And as we see that little flash away from here, we saw a lot of flashes away from Zev, away from Potato, away from a lot of these guys on this blue side team, and they absolutely dominated once more.
Hey, kudos to everybody though. I do want to say everybody had their kind of highlight, and maybe they could look back proud. I think everybody should. But again, this is a game, the showcase. To reiterate the point that we're making during this one, everybody wants to win, and that's what all these players have in common. I'm sure they're going to be harder on themselves than we ever are or anybody else. So with that in mind, we're going to take a short break, and we will be right back after that.
I lied awake for days, counting all the ways I died. Everything I couldn't save, buried down, still half alive. It's got me crawling in my skin, but no one's coming out to hold me close. Pouring out the gasoline, yeah, I've been making friends with all these ghosts, and I got nothing left to lose. Fight to the future. Choked it down, left a bad taste on my tongue, but my appetite's been growing now. I can see you crawling in your skin, but no one's coming out to hold you close. I'm pouring out the gasoline, so say hello to all my ghosts. to the fallen, leave me to be with the broken one last time before I go. Hold the last burning ember, let us never surrender. May we rise up to the call for the glory and the fall. For the beat and the broken, for the lost and forsaken, let us never surrender. May we rise up to the call for the beat and the broken, for the lost and forsaken, let us never for the beat and the broken, for the lost and forsaken, let us never surrender. Now we rise unto the call. For the glory and the fall.
for Challengers Showcase Winter 2022, presented by Team Ambition. We're gonna close it out today. This is gonna be the last one, so if you haven't been paying attention, now is a good time to start. I guess turn on your monitors. My name is Proof, and I'm joined here on the casting desk with Shells. And Shells, we're talking a lot. We're trying to analyze all this stuff. We put our brains together and trying to see the potential. The gloves come on. I guess. What's going on there, buddy?
Look, we got to put the gloves on because we do not want to leave the scene with any evidence of anything being left on the map. Look, we want to make sure that we leave all of what we have to give on this first day for all the coaches, managers, scouts out there. And there may be, we've seen two terrible, terrible crime scenes. And the glove absolutely fit. Blue side was going absolutely crazy in both those first two games. And we're gonna get a good answer, a good look at is this a blue side meta, or potentially was it Coach Norman? In both those two first games, blue side coach was Coach Norman. He is not going to be coaching on this stream for game number 3. We have Coach Sama, and then Space and Richeria will be the coaches on the red side. So we'll get some good answers as to potentially, was it the pick order and the side of the map, or potentially was Coach Norman getting the best out of these players to the umpteenth degree?
Honestly, I haven't seen at the list just yet, but when I take a look, Shells, we'll have a better idea of what's going on here. And we got some of the same names, some of the same people also playing in the third game. Some stuff to watch out for again is like, are we seeing a trend here? Are we seeing a trend? Is it mostly like a comfort pick thing going on? What are the picks that we're gonna see? Because honestly, I enjoy looking at things out of the box, mainly that you don't get to see in an actual professional gameplay. And this is a showcase, so obviously, we like to see the talent and the caliber of plays that everybody's showing up to play here today. Such as last game we saw Zev. We talked a little bit about him. We talked about other prospects as well. But going into it for this last and final game for the showcase today, what are you expecting to see, or at least want to see on our screens?
So I was spending a lot of the first two games talking about, you want to make sure that who you are as a player shines. So win or lose, what you want to show is who you are as a player and who you are as someone who could be put onto a team that can do well in the NACL, the Salt League coming up, the new amateur / academy / just underneath the level, just underneath pro level, this upcoming split. So, but in the last game of the day, give the folks a show, because look, at the end of the day, this is entertainment. So I'm sorry that sometimes there was Spencer on the top side, Maniac, Duong Pro. These are guys we haven't seen yet on this stream. But look, I want to see some volatility. I want to see some outplays. I want to see you leave this stream, leave day one of the 2022 Winter Challenger Showcase with these coaches saying, let them review the VODs and say, okay, this guy really popped off. The last thing I saw in my head was these guys go absolutely nuts. And the first pick on blue side is Caitlyn. I have a very strong feeling we will be able to see exactly that.
Yeah, Caitlyn, we haven't seen yet Caitlyn, so it's good that she made an appearance here today before we end the stream. Obviously, this is the last one, so I have a lot looking forward to this one. Ziggs, this again a pick that we have not normally been seeing here. Another aspect, I guess, when we're talking about the players, this is to put a spotlight on them, right? We got Duong Pro, you mentioned him. I believe we're seeing a lot of these players who have a good record. Like it's their kind of resume and or CV or whatever you might want to say is stacked. Like these are not players. Like again, they have a lot of potential. They should be picked up. In my opinion, we should see people picking up more of these players and kind of building their roster around rising talent. And this is the type of talent that also has kind of backing from their records, just straight up. We're seeing PGCQ Summer 2021, 2022, UPL Summer. We got players who in collegiate sport or have a big name. There's UCI Esports. UCI Esports rings a bell for a lot of collegiate fans out there because it's one of the best League of Legends teams out there. So we got a really good variety is what I'm trying to say here. And with that, let's just jump right into the picks and bans. We got Nautilus, Ziggs, Shells. What are you most excited about? We're seeing another Wukong here. So two out of 3. Or no, was
Yeah,
it? Yeah, 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. And you know what? What I'm seeing here is exactly what we mentioned, what I mentioned earlier about adding volatility and adding something that leaves your name, leaves your play style, leaves the champions you're able to bring out in the just freshly in the mind of these coaches. Let them go to bed thinking, damn, this man really pulled out the Zillion last game of the day. You don't see Zillion too much. You don't see Ziggs too much. Now, this might be a mid Ziggs. I'm hoping to see this actually be the bot lane duo locked up very quickly. I hope we're looking at both bot lane duos, Ziggs Nautilus and Caitlyn Zillion potentially here, being able to get that Caitlyn ahead with the getting her that extra XP, maybe even some plates as well. Get her really really fed early on, but this is exactly what you want to see, and you see even in the bans, a lot of the champs are champs that have that outplay ability, that have that singular ability to have 1v1s, to have skill expression. So we're looking at both squads here saying, I want to show my skill, but at the same time, I'm banning out the things that make you strong, that help you express your skill. And I have a very strong feeling that this third game is going to be a lot of, let's not call them ego plays, but let's call
You don't
them.
also jinx it. Don't jinx it, Shells.
I have the utmost expectations. This is unjinxable. Unjinxable. We're gonna see a lot of singular outskill kind of plays from both these teams here. It will be an even game. None of this stomp stuff. It won't be one-sided. This guaranteed
Okay.
will be a banger.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, well, I'm going to follow up on that, just elaborating a little bit more on if I were just putting myself in the situation of coaches or building a team. That's everybody's fantasy right there, building a League of Legends teams. Shout out to Mr. Beast. Hopefully he does it. But yeah, I mean, if you're to build your best team, I think one thing that I would look for is not just people who are excellent at their roles, but I'm looking for people who are overcoming a certain obstacle and pulling it off. Because if you're just excellent player, kudos to you. But to me, a better player would be someone who overcomes their fears and overcomes their obstacles and achieves the same thing, or achieves that kind of like bottom line, which is winning. So when I'm looking at picks, when I'm looking at things, sometimes I also root for the underdog, and that's where I'm really gathering most of the information as well. And so far, it has been adequate. So far, we're seeing a lot of these. Oh, wait a minute, is this an Echo pick as well? I'm seeing Shell's face. Echo and Shen. There's a lot of combo wombo potential from the side of the red team, as well as the blue team. You're seeing that Galio hover. No, that was going to be Tryndamere, Mordekaiser. Again, these are some really good meta picks. These champions have been kind of the front runner of top plays in 2022. I guess we're topping it off in the 2020 Winter Showcase as well. Anyway, going back to your theoretical team, Shells, what are the things that you would want in a team if you're trying to pick out a prospect?
If I'm trying to pick out a prospect, I want someone who is able. Well, I guess it depends on what I'm looking for as a whole, but I want players who are skilled enough to have those outplay potentials, but also someone who is coachable. You want to have someone who's coachable, you want someone who's predictable. You don't want someone who's going to surprise you, whether it's like interpersonal relationships or a volatile sort of
Reliability.
Yeah, being someone who's reliable both as a teammate, as a player. You want someone who can be consistent. Having a high ceiling but a low floor is kind of a bit iffy. We've seen some coin flipping players before, both at the pro level and at the proving grounds, now the NACL. But I think the biggest thing for me is I want to know what I'm going to be able to expect. I want to know I have a player with a high floor, and then their ceiling can be, if it's a high ceiling, that's amazing. But as long as I know I can get what I'm going to get out of this player, and I can say, okay, I know what I'm going to get from him, and he's going to do just well, or her, because we do have Solaria in the mix here as well. I want to know that I can get what I'm going to get when that's my baseline. I want to know what to expect from players.
Well, yeah, because you're doing strategic kind of like movements and trying to build a partnership with all the players. So you want them to be reliable, so you could actually put them on a graph and see like expectations, something that you could measure, right, with expectation, and something that like, hey, the input that I give into this player to make them even grow further, I'm gonna get back in terms of the output of the performance. The performance is what matters, right? Having that like performance mindset. And sorry, I interrupted you there, Shells.
Oh, you're absolutely fine. Those are great points. But what we're looking at here is quadruple melee into some of the nastiest CC you have. You have Caitlyn the Traps, you have the Zillion, the Shin Taunts, Echo with that with the W. I mean, there is a lot of this is like I said, it's gonna be a game where there is a lot of damage and sustain and survivability on that red side, but you have to walk into one of the longest range champions in the game, being protected by some of the nastiest some of the nastiest CC the game has to offer with Echo. I mean, look, this is like what we want to see. We want to see players pick up these champions that aren't quite meta, that aren't quite what we've been seeing, the vanilla kind of stuff. We want to see them leave this third and final matchup with a bang. You want these coaches to say, "Oh, damn, okay, I saw him play the meta stuff, but now he's playing the Echo. Now we're looking at the Zillion. Now we're looking at where the Tremere are going to be mid in this game." I mean, this is going to be the kind of matchup that leaves coaches saying, "Okay, now I get a good idea of how these players are going to look on meta things and their pocket picks." And you want to have that a little bit of unpredictability with the kind of champ pool that some of these guys are going to be showing that they can pull out in a game.
I think one thing I could all like recommend. Obviously, I'm not a League of Legends genius, but I know a few things about like branding when it comes to outreach and how players could communicate themselves with coaches and scout teams and managers and alike. Talking a little bit about that, I feel like everybody here has a potential to have reels, showcases, and maybe they could take like snippets of their performance, whether it is obviously if they perform bad in that game, maybe they could just focus on the good parts and then just send that and compile that and then make a list of potential players or potential teams they see themselves and trying to kind of outreach that way. Because think about it too, a lot of people who are watching, a lot of people who are learning as well. Most of them are not coaches today, right? I mean, it could be a lot of coaches watching today, but for people who want to kind of reach their goal, they need to like actively pursue it as well, not just waiting for a prospect or a team manager to reach out to them, because a lot of the times we might just, it's like unfair advantage because you perform good today, you get messages. If you don't perform, you might not. So I just definitely recommend for all the players not to be discouraged. There's a lot of other ways, and mostly we were talking about this earlier. It comes down to networking and being able to market yourself and building your brand. And this is a perfect opportunity for all sorts of players to build their own brand and kind of like get a foot in the door in terms of this amateur space and making the ladder, making upwards of the ladder of the League of Legends scene when it comes to amateur and professional.
Yeah, and they'll have a chance to do that. But before they get a chance to, get all their clips together and do all their networking, they have one more game to get to. Now, we mentioned a little bit about the coaching in the first game, the first two games. We had Coach Norman, I believe it was, on the blue side. And we're looking at a different strategy here for Red Team. Last time we saw the first pick, Karma for Solaria. Now picking a very different champion in the Nautilus, a very different role. So Zig's Nautilus lane, still a little bit, not as, conventional as we've seen from other teams today. But I'm very, very curious to see how Solaria plays on a much different champion, an engaged champ, a little tankier, much tankier than the Karma, and playing alongside a Ziggs here. So this is going to be a very, very eye-opening, I believe, a matchup here in the bot lane 2v2. Ziggs, Nautilus, Caitlyn, and Zillion. This is going to be, I'd be very surprised if we don't see both the Viego and Wukong path bot side for this game, because this is going to be a very, very exciting matchup here in the 2v2.
Yeah, I mean, this is the picks. I think it just came down to this last game, Shells, right? The first two games were just a little taste. They're like, hey, these are the champions we're playing for today, setting the tone. But now this is just not what we anticipated. We got Echo, we got Zillion, and then again, 2 out of 3 times we're seeing the Wukong, and this is being, I believe, a flex in the jungle. Obviously, Echo could be jungler as well, and Wukong could lane, but I rather see Echo here. In the mid lane. What is your take on just the flexibility? And I think I might also want to add, a lot of us are also wondering, right, what's going on behind the curtains, and maybe we will get more insight on this. But shot calling is very, very important in teams. And with the experience that we have here, like everybody is a great player. Everybody has the experience. Everybody could be the shot caller, especially those with more kind of analysis background. I believe Solaria, we were talking about her a minute ago. She has been given the spotlight to be on analyst desk before and whatnot, and also being a sub for wildcard team from spring 2022. So we have great minds is the point here, and the shot calling is up in the air. I mean, who knows who's making the shot calls when it comes to the team.
Yeah, we'll have to figure all that out, and we'll see potentially how that works out while we're in game. I'm going to steal your job here for just a moment and get us out of this so we can get you guys into the game. We will talk a lot about these compositions. I have a lot of thoughts about this Echo and Tryndamere matchup in the mid lane. But for right now, guys, we're going to get you guys into a quick break so we can get you guys into the game. Don't miss Game 3, the finale of Day 1 of the Winter Challenger Showcase in 2022, presented by Team Ambition. You won't want to miss it.
See you guys in a bit.
I lied awake for days, counting all the ways I died. Everything I couldn't save, buried down, still half alive. It's got me crawling in my skin, but no one's coming out to hold me close. Pouring out the gasoline, yeah, I've been making friends with all these ghosts, and I got nothing left to lose. Fight to the future. It's not me to turn and run. Met the bitter truth and I choked it down. Left a bad taste on my tongue, but my appetite's been growing now. I can see you crawling in your skin, but no one's coming out to hold you close. I'm pouring out the gasoline, so say hello to all my ghosts. Sick and exhausted, but
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are now on the final game for today on Team Ambition or Extreme. Thank you all for joining. We really do appreciate your journey along with us as we are exploring the talents of these various, very capable prospects.
Yeah, we have some very, very good players here who are looking to make a name for themselves, and there is no better way to do that than to show how strong you can be on some of these champs that aren't quite meta. We're looking at this Shin here. If you remember from our game number 2, look, Blank was going absolutely nutty on the Mundo. So playing another tank, maybe he's a tank player. We'll maybe see Jack Show make an appearance here for this Shin. I know that is what I think is the most broken item in the game right now. I'm very excited to see this Echo versus Tryndamere matchup, as we do see a 5-point on the map. Jungler starting.
I feel like Trin should have an easy day against Echo. No, I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but honestly, I when I see Tryndamere, I just whoever is laning against him, just GG, bro. Like that's one comment I can make about that. But Chels, you always are very keen on pointing out the start of how the spread is across both sides, and so far both teams and everybody who we watched so far has been doing a good job at that 5-point start. Sometimes they go for the invade, sometimes they even put a opposite ward to get intel. But we haven't seen the Ziggs Nautilus lineup yet, right? As you're touching up a little bit on that, what can we expect?
Well, I want to see, like I said earlier, I want to see how Solaria looks on this Nautilus, and I want to see the way they do play this. Like I mentioned before, both these junglers are pathing bot side, both doing a full clear to that side of the map. As we do see Echo bullying this Tryndamere early on. He will get a little bit stronger as he reach that mid game. But I want to see how Solaria plays the support role with a Ziggs. I mean, you have a very strong 2v2, a very strong opponent with Soupfan, and I'm a newbie on the Zillium. My eyes are on this red side bot lane duo. Uh-oh.
They got a flash to trade a radar. Trade, pick up his first blood right in the bag and made it look so easy.
He made it look so easy because guess what? It really was. When you press your buttons on Tryndamere, good things happen. And honestly, you're doing a lot of auto-attacking anyway. So really, I mean, you are just an absolute monster. Has to blow through both of his summoners, but getting 400 gold for the free ski, it is a good day here for this champion. And getting that first blood before 3 minutes feels so amazing for your team. Echo has no teleport, and now we're looking at this. Diego, maybe.
Yang setup going on. Duong Pro looking for an opportunity here.
No sums.
Five back, and that will be almost very close. Radar could maybe juke them out here. He does have that blast going available, but he does not get to hit it in time. He just says good night, goes back to the base, and here we go. Resets across the board in the mid lane. So there it is. We got 1 kill on each mid lane. But here we go. Bot lane shenanigans going on. You can see. We got the Viego action. Yep, it's going to be easy again. Visera with the kill. It's the first one for him in the game. And top side, it's like a balance going on. A lot of fights breaking out and breaking loose. We got solo laner here in the bot lane. 2v1. Will not die, though. But 2v2, I mean, I guess 2-2 across the board. We are going off with the ground running.
Yeah, that's what we mentioned before. This is that very high octane, very volatile matchup we're looking at. Evenly across the board, 4 members on both teams with kill participation. And look, this is the game to have this kind of aggressiveness, to have this kind of these outplays. You find someone playing a little too far forward on the map, you come around with the flank, you get a quick little kill. You find the Light's Garden playing a little too sweet against this Tryndamere, get the kill, but Radar has to blow the flash and gets punished almost immediately. So we're looking at punch and counter punch, strafing, ducking, dodging, weaving, but there are still these blows landing on each of these members of the team. And as this game goes further, I think most of these champs actually scale very well. We're going to be looking at a very volatile matchup in all lanes, and I think that we're going to have a much better game, much more evenly matched
It's a little bit
matchup here.
poetic too. Yes, it is because the bottom half of the red side is doing good, and the top half, I guess, for the blue side, are the ones doing it so far, right? You're seeing the score line, and it is a little bit too early to be sure about everything that we're saying. Of course, we're just kind of guiding our eyes and the things that we need to kind of see in order to say, hey, this prospect is actually managing their time good. Again, you're seeing Delighted Garden under a heavy fire from Radar. His HP bar is low, but he does manage to get the stun off just in time. And what a miraculous, I guess, W that was, because he was very happy. He does not have that level 6 on Echo yet, and that is an important distinction.
Yes, he does not. He doesn't have the W, but or the ult yet, but he has it now actually. But also look at his items. He has nothing but the corrupting pots. He died so early, he had nothing to buy, and he was going up against a Tryndamere with pickaxe and longsword. So that was potentially problematic, like Hermione said in the Goblet of Fire, when Harry had to go underwater for an hour long to find his friends. And it looks like Spencer will find a way.
Oh,
No, he'll be underwater himself. No, there will be a quick little
slap on the wrist.
shin. Slap on the wrist. Yeah, still has his sums, so he's gonna be just fine. As we do see Viego making his way toward bot just to make his presence known. Gets in the back up. He's gonna reset, get an item or two, components, and then go back on his way, going toward his top side. But we're looking at these two teams here. Delight's Garden surviving that long against that Tryndamere, who now has both his sums coming up just right now. Look, the game's only gonna get harder for him, so we're gonna be looking at how he uses his W in those situations where he has Tryndamere on top of him, and even Viego, and how he uses his R, because with that buff he got 2 patches ago. Don't stop backs, that's fine. You
don't stop back. Just let them have that. He just walks right into that death trap. Solaria with a perfect setup, but Delight's Garden has that movement speed to get away, and that second Q is not going to be on that enough cooldown to have that re-engage done. But look at that right side. They're invading that blue buff, and Wong Pro does know this. He does not have enough reinforcements, at least to fight that off. So, again, things are, you give something and then you take something, and that's what's been going on so far. Thankfully, Delight's Garden held on to his flash, so he does have that flash. He's deciding to go in now on a 1v2. He does not understand that maybe Diego's still around the corner, and surely he is. He pops out of the fog, and here we go. Fight's gonna break loose. Delight's Garden almost getting that kill onto Solaria, but Solaria will survive. Yorti goes in. Delight's Garden
in a bad spot.
Sliver of HP walks away, but the Zing's bomb will not connect either. Echo's getting lucky. Not gonna lie, Shells.
Very lucky, because his only recourse there, if he gets any lower, if he's in a bad spot, is to use his ult. And if you notice, the ult was right in the middle of all 3 of those members in the red squad. So even using R there, you might get a little damage off, but your W's down, and you're gonna be finding yourself in a 3v1 with no help from Duong Pro. So very, very, very fortunate for him that he was able to get away with a sliver of health. If Visera did have that ultimate, that bomb from Ziggs, he would probably be dead meat. But luckily enough for him, gets away with a sliver of health. Team gives up the Herald there, but that's fine. As long as you live, you can fight another day with losing a bit of tower plating on the backside.
It looks like this game is going to come down to scale, right down to the wire, just depending on which team positions themselves for that late game. Because the way it's going right now, Shells, everything looks kind of even, right? We're seeing Solaria trying to make a play with a Hextech flash over the wall. There they go. Radar setting up for that kill, but decides not to double commit on that initially. Seeing the opportunity, but again, making the decision, right? Shot calling is really important. We talked about that before the game started, and Solaria being a very knowledgeable support, I believe she has a very good voice in this team, trying to make the shots and the plays and setting up the team for success.
Yeah, just make sure that blue side is aware of the presence. You want to make your presence known. Like flash over the wall, just say, hey, don't push too hard. And I am here on this Nautilus. But so is this Tryndamere. No shield? That's fine.
Yeah, Tryndamere's going to catch up on CS in no time, obviously. So Echo, Delight's Garden needs to find a play to make. Obviously, he did obtain that level 60 on level 8 right now, and you could see a fight potentially breaking out here over that Ocean Drake.
Trying to find positioning. There's some good wards defensively for the red side here in their own jungle, but that's not going to save their blue buff, as we do see the Lights Garden go ahead and help grab that. Now, with that wave pushing bot, there is some slight priority here, while Solaria and Visera are making this push to make it happen again. But with Tryndamere so strong in the mid lane, you really can't make a move for the dragon just yet.
At least they're making moves here. The Wukong has been kind of the theme of the day in terms of jungling, right? Now Dong Pro is wielding this champion again, going back in. Solera's going to get caught in between heavy fire. Will go down. The first one to go down. Zilean ult popped on Dong Pro. He's safe and sound. So that is 1-0. Blue side get away with murder.
You know what? And it looks like it looks like Blank tried to use the Shin ult, but gets canceled there. You see it's on cooldown, but he's still in the top lane. So he tried to help his team out, and very heads-up play from Spencer. If he has one fan, I am one of them. He just goes ahead and makes a heads-up play for the squad, getting that CC down, and uh-oh.
Oh no! Yordi just finding that opportunity and just making that work. What a heads-up play from him.
Very heads-up, and it looks like Soupfan lost his head on the back end of that. Yuki might be doing the same.
Charge maybe here, but look, they're not concerned about the Herald. They want that kill. At least putting Viego on breaks for a little bit, and you could see flash play Visera trying to move away, but the Lights Garden has him locked in his sights, and will get him with that Q, and the reset is there. He does have his ult and does have the flash. Maybe they could pick off Solaria here, so not going to be the case. Solaria walks away scot-free, but we're gonna come to with a price here, right? And that's gonna be objective, the first one on the board for the blue side.
Yep, they get that dragon here for the free ski. Well, it cost Visera his life, but free for the blue side there, and they find themselves in a very good spot. I mean, getting a 12-minute first dragon doesn't really help you too much. It's not like a very strong stack. You're gonna wait at least till the 27-minute mark? I don't know math. Until you get the potential first chance to get soul, you grab all 4. But it still does feel good. Get the pick on the bot side, get the dragon, help your team out. And Ocean is a really good dragon for this Shin. Very good for this Caitlyn to get poked out a little bit by the Ziggs. You can heal up just a bit more, and then with the heal from the Zilean and getting the extra XP, you are able to do you're able to have a little bit more survivability with this Ocean Drake if you are a Soupfan, who's doing decently right now. Not a powerhouse, but we all know Caitlyn can make a lot of great plays when she needs to in the mid-late game.
Yeah, and we also haven't seen, mind you, like topside plays happening just yet. I mean, the Lights Garden will land this W, but Radar just sidesteps that one. Caught in heavy fire, that Q slowdown, and the passive hit is all the Lights Garden needs to close out that kill. So here we go, 6-3. Blue side is just steamrolling their way. Hopefully with this momentum, the newfound momentum, they get more objectives.
Proof, do you see anything in the HUD that makes you have a little question mark in your mind? I do.
What do you see, my friend?
I see Radar with his ultimate up.
Oh, wait a minute. He did not even use his ultimate. But wait a minute. We got another fight breaking out. Oh, Viego super close. The Lights Garden out. Muscles him in that fight and just banks yet another kill. 4-1. The Lights Garden is unstoppable this game.
Now, look, I'm not going to lie to you. Viego's a very strong champion. Tryndamere is a very strong champion. So the Lights Garden being able to come through here and show what he can do against both those champions. Look, both solo kills. And he was very low going against this Viego.
It's not fair too, because it's like he already got Radar, and then again he was like, okay, who wants more? Essentially, is the kind
who
of
else want to smoke?
Exactly.
I don't think it's my guy Maniac. My guy Maniac probably don't want the smoke again. And this Echo, we all know, we've all seen what a fed Echo can do in our games. Echo on my team don't do it, but Echo on enemy team is a monster every single time. So you really gotta respect him now. And with that ult, that got a jail free card.
Solaria setting up a good play here, but again, Zilean just cancels it out. Just cancels it out, even with the nuke all the way from downtown, which does not matter. And this is the power of Zilean, just keeping your carries alive, or just keeping himself alive too, a lot of times.
You know, I love to see a guy, you know, survive there. He has his own got a jail free card. But do you see that honor recall from I'm a newbie? You do love seeing your teammates, your
I'm gonna
players
be putting
with
in
a
work.
little honor recall. I won't lie to you. I've never had an honor recall myself because
Never
I think
cared.
there's a bug in the system potentially. Maybe it was a bug. But sometimes you know things get a little heated in the game chat. But you do love to see your teammates with honor recalls. Little nice little Easter egg to see from some players. But gonna be
Yeah, more plays. Oh, that is a beautiful cyclone, double cyclone here. Knocks 2 up, and they're routing their enemies. You can see Visera took the wrong way home and will pay a hefty price. Main top picks up his second kill in the game. You got Solaria trying to get away with the sliver of his teeth, or their teeth, sorry. And there it is. They don't get anything else, and that's just gonna be Visera down. Solaria actually lives, so she's doesn't have to worry about that. But again, this is your Ziggs dying a second time in the game, and that momentum is just stolen away.
I think you were wrong, Proof. That wasn't the wrong way home. That's the fast way home as Visera gets a nice little teleportation right back to the Nexus, right back to the fountain.
Intended, as intended,
And
right?
as intended. You know, sometimes you can't wait for to channel the back there. You want to get there a little bit quicker. You get to buy something a little faster. As Maniac joins them on that journey right back to the fountain with the screen looking a little less vibrant. That's a-okay. As you know what? It's also a-okay to be wrong sometimes, and I was just that. As we hit the 16-minute mark, everyone with their first items, not all with mythics, because as we know now in this preseason at least, there are a lot of really great non-mythic items, and there is a very great trip to the fountain for newbie coming in very, very soon.
Amanobi
No?
actually flashes that
Ooh.
timing immaculate there, pixel perfect to just dodge death, I guess, at that point. Now Dwang Pro is around the vicinity to help him out, and you can just see this is just like a tug of war, right? One end is pulling, the other end is just resisting, and it's just going back and forth here between both teams. If you just look at the kill feed, you see 9 and 3, and you're like, oh, no way, the blue side is winning. But in terms of gold, it's not that far off between these two teams. Oh, and so
Not at
another
all.
possible fight breaking out. They're doubling down on this. Delight Garden on his quick as a bunny, but does get caught by that dredge line. Solaria finds that. Oh, that is beautiful ult by the Echo, finding so much
It's
damage on the
surviving!
Pro, layering that ulti on ulti. But guess what? Shut down coming through. Spencer is as strong as ever. Powerful Q with the Mordekaiser just making it work. And you can see the red side is just avenging the death and avenging all that trauma they've been accumulating this entire game. And they come back stronger than ever.
Yeah, and I was gonna make the point that you were trying to make as well, where you know the kill feed shows that blue side is heavily in favor, but red had they were even in gold, and
They're leading now.
Yeah, now they're leading by a nominal amount. But I was gonna say, you know, blue side still has some standing gold because most of that difference is in the towers. But you see this engage here as Maniac does try to get onto this Wukong. But look at how long Delight's Garden survives in this fight. This Echo is an absolute monster. Gets the W off and is able to ult backwards in there, saves his life, and he just almost gets away clean. But I mean, there's just a ton of damage coming through from red side. Radar is a monster as well, does not die, and Delight's Garden.
And Shen
The
United
squad's coming.
3v2 here in the top side, but Viego is not that healthy. Here we go, Dwonko.
Uh-oh.
This could be good for the blue side. They have a
5
perfect
mana.
setup. They're not going to let the Viego get away. Solaria is next to target, but it's going to get body blocked by Radar. You can see Visera TPing there, just alleviating some of that pressure. Mordekaiser, he's as well. Are they going to fight this back? They are. Both sides have a stake at this, but it just looks like the blue side is getting away just by a tad bit. The sustain, the heals are just too much to keep up.
I mean, when you have this many get out of jail free cards, the Echo ult, which wasn't up there, the Zillion ult, the Shin coming through, I mean, there's just so many.
The re-engage is just absolutely powerful there, but you can see they got traded instantly there. Radar gonna back away as well. This time, Shells, they are using the ulti. So
Yeah.
they are keen on pressing that ult button.
Yeah, was able to survive to get another kill for themselves. So that is going to be still a I would say fine for the red team. Their gold lead is, like I said, nominal, based solely off of the standing goal of the towers that blue side can go ahead and push if they so choose. Baron is up right now, but there's no real positioning there to take that. They don't have a very fast take at all. You have a Shin, an Echo, and a Zillion. Your take ain't that fast. So we're not really looking at blue side taking priority without getting a couple of picks as well. But still, you want to drop some wards there. Make sure you have vision to make sure they don't do anything too sneaky. Both teleports are down for Red Squad. So there could be the potential for a bait to the bot side and then a take on Baron, but I don't see that happening at all.
And I just feel like we're seeing a perfect kind of antithesis here as well in the top lane. We're seeing both sides. I mean, let me just hold my breath here because Spencer is just going at it right now, kicking Echo's ass for a little bit there. But the Lights Guardian will walk away, still alive. I'm in top lane, just trying to fend off any invaders here. But Viego as well. You can see there. Both teams are just trying to get a pick, or they're doing the due diligence of just clearing out the wards, so later on they don't get caught. And with that said, we're nearing towards the middle to end game here, Shells. What are the things are we going to expect here now that scaling is involved? Now that you're seeing Mordekaiser is pretty much set. But I was just trying to bring my attention, or our attention, to the top lane and seeing kind of like the different play styles, because one is just center around the team. The other is just center on, again, on split laning as well, but also it's more kind of split push center.
Yeah, so what you're looking at here, as you see Light's going to get that shield, maybe going to force the ult out of radar. Nope, when you have that much mobility and that much heal on the Trinity Mirror, you're just fine. We're looking at most players here coming out with about 2 items, 1.5 items. This Mordekaiser is in an amazing position. I think one of the strongest 2-item spikes for AP champions that Rylai's in the Jack show. At this point, you ain't gonna die, brother. Like, you're just an absolute monster. You have to be totally disrespectful in order for this Mordekaiser to die. And he has his friends coming through. You're 1v1ing a Shin. You won't get a kill on him, but you are absolutely safe here with Dragon coming up in about a minute. You get the shove. Maybe clear some of these wards, go back, get a little stronger, and have some pretty good positioning for that upcoming objective.
Stakes are high now, Shells. Early game you could have afforded maybe to make a couple of mistakes, but not anymore. Echo will pop the ulti. Look at Radar. He popped his ulti as well. Alt for alt, trying to kill each other there, at each other's throats. But yeah, you cannot afford to make a mistake now in big team fights. This is where the pressure is cooking up at an all-time high, and you really need to be careful. And this is where shot calling comes in, whether it is Solaria who's making the shots, or whether it is Dwonk Pro, whether it is the jungler. So it's important these times, and they do catch Solaria. Speaking of her, it's gonna get body block, or no, it's just gonna eat that up. And there it is, Viego, the double cyclone from Dwonk Pro will set up for that nice and easy kill from the Lights Guard, just assassinate Solaria there. And now you see Spencer, he TP'd behind enemy lines. He's going to get collapsed on, just intended to make this a little bit better for his teammates, but now he's going to be under crossfire, under heavy artillery. He's trying to stay alive. Wow. You can see the Zillion ulti coming in through, but it's not going to be enough. Or it is going to be enough. I guess they just walk away again. Viego trying to get that damage on. I don't know why they're still doubling down on this, being a couple of members down. This is 3v5. And Spencer just eating all that up from the Caitlyn. And Caitlyn just quietly getting kills here. 4-2 overall. And they're just definitely going to walk away with getting the better end of the deal here.
Yeah, and we're looking at, I said that this Mordekaiser won't die. Doing a very good job of making me look like I'm smart, but at the very end, you're not going to win this 2v1.
It's that flash. You could, flash away, but it's not worth it at the end of the day. You'd rather keep it at a high impact moment for, when he's needed. And again, Solaria getting caught out. This has just becomes too difficult for them, that they're losing so much pressure around the map. That comes with a hefty price of not having a lot of vision.
Yeah, not a lot of vision. We're looking at like I mentioned, we focus pretty heavily on the mid lane matchup, and the 2 champions with very strong Gadagel free cards and high mobility. And it looks like the Lights Guardian is the one who is showing that his R button is a little bit stronger than Radar's. We saw him get trapped in the Shadow Realm with Spencer, and at the very last moment, he's about to die, uses his ult, gets the kill, and onto Radar, and he is just an absolute monster right now. This Echo is just showing as he has his second item with the Lich Bane coming through and 4 stacks on the Dark Seal. Goes back home and gets those 2 drumsticks. Yummy, yummy. They're purple
Oof.
and they do a whole lot of damage.
Yeah.
He gonna turn that into a really fancy hat very, very soon. And
Yeah.
there's gonna be a time when have you ever seen an Echo at 3 items and that third item is a very fancy hat?
Yeah.
You know what's going on there.
And he has 3 lives, Shells. He has literally 3 lives. Absolutely. He's just kicking it up right now. I mean, the players are having so much fun, and that's a
Look at
beautiful
this.
landing on the W, just causing a lot of trouble. And now they're gonna all in here with the Stat
Uh-oh.
United. The Light Guardian frontlining a lot of that damage. Solera just running away, and you can see that Caitlyn just ulting it up here, having a lot of fun. Spencer maybe could get a retaliation kill here, trying to even out the score, but he has a lot of weight on his shoulders, and you just cannot expect more from him. Obviously, just trying his best, and he's bite the dust in just a second. And Soup Fan looking at 6th kill in the game. Viego and Ziggs are just gonna walk away, surrender this Baron, perhaps, but they are just around the vicinity in the corner. Oh, look at that catch right there. Delight's Garden might be.
My lordy! No!
Oh no! Not what you expect. Delight's Garden is unstoppable this game and just deserves all the accolades coming his way.
You know, it takes a very strong person to not gloat when they're right, but it takes an even stronger one to admit when they're wrong. And I lied to each and every one of you guys in the chat right now. I lied to you, Proof. I said I guaranteed this is gonna be a much more even fight. I said blue side won't be dominating. It'll be a little bit more of a matchup. We'll see, these two teams actually go tit for tat back and forth, but it looks like this blue side is absolutely just way too strong. These guys are having the time of their lives. A mid lane matchup, Echo won by a grippy grip.
For it.
Blank,
Maybe.
once again, Blank now, I think something's gonna happen here.
Just might be trying to get a kill or something, but I don't know why he definitely walked in that one. He's gonna ghost out of that. But I think we're playing a little game of Jinx here, me and you, Shells, and I'm winning at it because I did say he's gonna lose the mid lane, but he's definitely. I mean, I said he's gonna win, and he's definitely kind of not. But you can see that timer 50 seconds on Echo. I mean, are we really playing? Are we really jinxing everything here? We're saying Echo is winning, and then after a second he just dies, and then I don't know. Everything's all over the place here, and that's what we like about the Showcase 2022. Everybody is just at all-time high in terms of comfort levels, and they're just trying to perform and shine through as much as they can.
Yeah, an all-time high is a great way to put it. I like this from Delight's Garden. He does what I do. You die once, sell the Dark Seal. I'm done with it. You know what? Never mind. I'm sad now. Now, as an Echo with 3 items, one of them being that Death Cap, you can rack up those stacks very easily once again. And I'm pretty sure he had enough gold to buy Decap outright, even with having that death timer. So he bought it and still had a few seconds, like 10-ish seconds left. But you know what? You don't need Dark Seal right now. As is Echo, you are doing amazingly. Just the items in your back pocket doesn't get a control war. So I'm not exactly sure.
What's going on here in the bot side? A lot of commotion here, and Dwang Pro is the front runner, trailblazing his way to the back line. You can see Delight's Garden now just gonna assassinate one, maybe the second, back to back with a baseball bat. A third one.
Give it to
Triple
him.
kill for
Don't kill
Delight's
Spencer.
Garden is absolutely
Don't kill
awesome. Give
Spencer.
him the quadra kill here, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Winter Showcase 2022 quadra kill from Delight's Garden,
bro.
absolutely unstoppable.
Visera,
What
don't do
a
it.
Titan.
Visera, don't run, brother. Give it to him. Oh, he's walking back. He's walking back. Visera, be a friend. Be a brother. Uh-oh. He's doing it. Do you have E?
Yeah, he's
No.
He's not gonna give him. He's not gonna give him satisfaction, So Visera is that kind of player, It's just like, yeah, I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose too much. Is what he's saying. I know I'm getting my ass kicked right now, but Echo, you could pause a little bit there.
Yeah, gotta give a quick little pause there. That's fine. That's all good. We're all having fun here. But I mean, everyone on the blue team is having a lot of fun here as the goal is ballooned.
No, this is tough for the red side. I mean, everything is just not going in their way. They have only one objective. Maybe they could get the Lights Guardian. He has a lot of shot down, but that Zillion ulti comes through. This is a cat with 9 lives, apparently, just does not die. And you can see the front line is just getting shredded. Solaria bites the dust. Double kill again for Echo. Double kill again for Soup Fan. They're just putting on a show for us for the final game for today.
And if we like go back and we've been having these like little write-ups and these breakdowns on these players. We've been looking at who they are as players and what their goals are. And my guy Delight kept it simple. He said he's like me when I see someone pick up Yuumi on my team. He says his goal in this year is to get as far as I can, and looks like he's been getting pretty far. He's gone ahead and made himself an absolute menace on the Rift. 12-4-6 is his ending KDA. Highest CS in the game, or second highest CS in the game, does not matter. He most definitely had the highest impact in the game, and unpredictably so. Going up against that Tryndamere, he showed that my R button is greater than your R button, and those outplays were absolutely disgusting. Now, I guess he's not that nice of a guy, because if he was, Viceroy would have fed him that penta. But look, it's all good. The quadra kill in this showcase. This is exactly what we mentioned at the top. You want to leave the scouts, the managers, and whoever it is going to be watching these games, you want to leave them the last game of the day with something to go home to, something to remind them, something that sticks right there in their head. And if there's anyone who's done that in this game, it was most definitely Delights.
Yeah, it was the Lights, but also I want to also commend the top laner, Shen. I mean, top 2 games back to back, very consistent performance. One was on Dr. Mundo and now on Shen. He played a little more supportive role, and you could see, I think, at the end of the day, when we started this stream, we talked about diversity, kind of like showing kind of what you're able and in different environments and just multi-purpose driven players and being able to perform all the same. And I think we got that from I main top lane, and also got that from, I believe, a lot of other players too. I also have to commend both sides for trying. We saw Solaria a couple of times trying to turn this one around with her engages. Albeit it might not have gone the way they wanted to, but you saw the fighting spirit on the red side as well.
You most definitely did see that fighting spirit, and we will be able to see a lot of these guys again tomorrow. And like we mentioned before, it's not only about winning and losing, it's about showing your skill set, it's about showing your mindset in these games. And like you mentioned about how you play from a behind position, how you play from a position of a disadvantageous perspective or position in the game. That is also very important to these scouts, to these managers. You want to see how a player reacts to being down in a bad spot. And I think we did see some very strong mentals from this red side in hell. Every single red side today. All 3 games have been a little bit.
Did all 3 sides lose? Oh yeah, they did.
All 3 red sides. They didn't. No. Proof. They didn't lose. They got your adjective hero. How bad did the red side lose for every single game?
I don't know. I don't know if they got it was shitty, I would say. I'll just say that for today. It was a shitty experience maybe for it to be on the red side. But one thing I would say for tomorrow, if you're a statistic fan, just pick blue side. Is maybe you'll win based off of that. Who knows?
Red side shitty, blue side bidet. You just want to wash away all that nastiness of the first day and come back day number 2 with a new, fresh wipe away of your memory and say, look, this is a brand new day to show off my skills, and I'm very, very excited to get a glimpse. We now have a little bit of something to work off of for tomorrow's expectations, but I really do want to see how these players either build off success or come back and show that they can adjust and get some very good tape on film for these guys who are looking to make their teams and build their teams as we do get closer and closer to the Salt League coming up in this next upcoming spring.
Thank you, Shells, for such a wonderful commenting here today. Wouldn't have asked for anyone better here to start off the journey, to kick things off. But with that, here we're at an end with 2022 Showcase for the first day. Tomorrow be back. There will be other casters, the same players, so you know what to expect. And thank you all for tuning in. My name is Proof, and I'm joined here with Shells. And a special thanks for Emma for producing Behind the Curtains. Thank you all, and have a great night.
Namaste.
Baby, baby.
I lied awake for days, counting all the ways I died. Everything I couldn't save, buried down, still half alive. It's got me crawling in my skin, but no one's coming out to hold me close. Pouring out the gasoline, yeah, I've been making friends with all these ghosts, and I got nothing left to lose. Fight to the future. Choked it down, left a bad taste on my tongue, but my appetite's been growing now. I can see you crawling in your skin, but no one's coming out to hold you close. I'm pouring out the gasoline, so say hello to all my ghosts. From your eyes, and this is not a warning, this is not a test. I'm tuning on your way, coming for the rest, and I'm about to ignite. Just try to play it cool, echoes in my head. hear my plea to the fallen, leave me to be with the broken one last time before I go. Hold the last burning ember, let us never surrender. May we rise up to the call for the glory and the fall. For the glory and the fall.